Good evening, Nigeria. Welcome to Updates. It's precious. Another beautiful day to give on an update of things that happen for inside Nigeria. And I be very excited to bring on an update of matter them they share for inside our country because as they hot, that's how they bring to that, including the ones that when they hide inside the streets of social media, when they go hide for the backyard of social media and they go dig about, come bring for now. And now that is why I am your update queen. Abi, on our collect the title, command the title from my hand. Welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure to have you guys and bring you updates of things that happen for inside the country. So today we'll get a special guest in the house who will join us in the next couple of minutes. And him, a young man, where they do something very outstanding for Nigeria, an American, where they do something very outstanding for Nigeria, as he gets to do with the rehabilitation and of the people they're waiting for IDP and they're rebuilding their houses. I mean, I'm not going to see something like this concerning, especially considering saying that something we get to do with humanity where I make I don't put my mouth inside. So that one day we put my mouth inside. But before they make I go give an update of things that happen for inside Nigeria. So netizens them, that is social media users just did like this on the streets of social media. Say, waiting. Ogashe Husani, what you been talk say Igbo people do again? He said Igbo people do it in again. They don't go dig out one bottom talk, one secret when they walk on like that. They don't go dig about and I will give all the details of that secret because social media they forget. You see, no go commit offense on the social media. In anything you do, live with all, in fact, make sure say they handle things with all sincerity of purpose. Because if social media catch you, they don't forget at all. Plus, including say these young people, them buy our guy posts a video of President Tinubu when he be say he leave Abu Dhabi to come back to Nigeria. Nine Nigerians are under the post of Bayo Ononoga. If you see the post where they post, a video where they post of our president, I'm waiting the title the video. Not be me go talk. I they come. I will give another details. Now I make idea here to bring on the details of all the gossip when they go around the streets of social media. My work not to bring on all the gossip, but before then, make I go bring on the headlines and I see the shelle this evening. Tinubu departs Abu Dhabi for Nigeria after Sustainability Week meeting. Oh, and also tell on I say, for inside Abia State for Aba precisely. Nigerian youth Aba people enter the streets of Aba. If you see the rally where they say they conduct for Alex Oti, hey, why Rivers people they do? No, we cannot River State. No, we cannot River State. Abia State people they do. Alex Oti will not want any competition with them. Now he be the man we know. As if you see the crowd they come out for Alex Oti, it will shock you well. But we will continue with other to read them. Nigerian economy better under British colonists than Tinubu others. Carlo Aja, economist, now I don't talk that one. ADC, not vehicle for Atiku's presidential ambition. Bolaji Abdullahi, now I don't talk this one. And for other matter, just to give an update, Nigeria don't knock Egypt Akpako on penalties to win AFCON 2025 bronze. As you know, see gold carry, we could carry the bronze now. That one said makes sense well. And then APC says inflation is 15%. Reality over 50%. You don't understand. That is APC say inflation not reduce to 15%. Meanwhile, the reality, what would they see for Nigeria na 50%? This, according to social commentators, as the fourth Tinubu government over unrealistic inflation and unemployment figures. If they tell us say unemployment now how many, but meanwhile, what will be the reality of the face of Nigeria? Why are they give us Tinubu not mix? Why are they do like this? That now what people they talk now. Removing Tinubu in 2027 is Nigeria's only path to freedom for Nigerians. ADC spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi, now they talk this one. Say if the only way when Nigeria gets move forward not to remove Tinubu, to put to who Kwano and I never tell us. Okay. Report. Federal government spends 38.2 billion naira on welfare and of families of Gowon, Obasanjo, Buhari, Jonathan, and all of them, all ex-chief heads, them, ex-presidents, them. We don't spend 38.2 billion naira to rehabilitate their family. Even as our economy still they crumble like this. Hell, God, who do us like this? Tinubu laying strong foundation for long-term prosperity. Minister and the say, don't worry. In case you never they feel the Tinubunomics right now, don't worry, you shall gonna feel it because right now, ain't just they lay down the foundation. So when you build foundation, the nature of the house never still come out, the shape of the house never come out. So you still they build the foundation for your prosperity where you will enjoy in the future. Now waiting if we say Tinubu minister talk. Who talk that one? I gonna let you know. Nigerian nurses calls for investigation into death of twin babies in Lagos after alleged wrong vaccination. A young man losing twin boys after they give them vaccine, so they get fever. Till then, convox con die. Very, 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 very. I would have played that video, but because it showed the children face, and I really never get time to edit. I mean, very, very sad to see that story there. ADC says Tinubu's increased allocation to state governors fail to impact lives of Nigerians. He increased allocation to state governors. How the thing don't impact the lives of Nigerians, we know no. DSS operatives rescued 2 pastors abducted by bandits in Kaduna Forest. That is 2 pastors we visited abduct for Kaduna Forest. And we bandits abduct for Kaduna Forest. Now they don't rescue. Should they say no targeted at Christians? I mean, no Christian genocide. These pastors, then who then be? Oh, sorry. Then be traditional worshiper pastors. I be okay. Wife, daughter of late Kaduna Anglican priest. You remember Reverend Archie? Reverend Archie where then kill, collect ransom. Then throw in body for family members with pay ransom. Still holding wife and daughter. Since that over 2 months, now they release the wife and daughter. So wife and daughter of late Kaduna Anglican priest regain freedom after 2 whole months with bandits. 2 months, 9 days for bandits there. Fire outbreak claims life of 103-year-old woman in Oyingbo area of Lagos State. Oh, sorry, mama. Democracy under pressure. Threats to Nigeria's 2027 election by Samson Itodo 9 talk this, and I go like make we look at this in talk. My life in danger, my life in danger, oh, my life in danger. Delta monarch plotting to kill me. Oh, Abuja businessman cries out to police and civil societies. Why in they cry out? You will get to know later. ADC says Tinubu's increased allocation to state governors, of course, meet anything, come out anything at all. Pregnant women, children at risk as Iberekodo Primary Health Center in Lagos deteriorates. A primary health center for Lagos State, if you see the way the building did, if you see no roof, no nothing, you're going to wonder, is this the Lagos that we built that is like this? What is going on? Because everywhere in Lagos, with the kind of revenue allocation where the Lagos State they get and attention, nothing, not public facility was supposed they bad. Because then they try well and they're supposed to continue to try to show good example to other states that they don't show before. Bayelsa Police Command detains 2 officers for brutal assault of tricycle rider, exposing the continued illegal collection of diva by community leaders in Delta states. Uvezime Nelson Ubi. Now they talk this one. And then bandit attack farm in Oyo State, abduct Indian national key police officer. In case you don't understand, Oyo State is not just Ibadan here. In case you don't understand, so remember this now like the 4th or 5th. How many bandits attack when they don't get in just this January alone? Bandits, so the same Fulani bandits who we hear where they disturb for other parts of the country. Now they don't reach Oyo State now. Now continuous attack or you don't get continuous attack. By the time now you it will escalate, enter inside another state now. Now so you don't start small. Plateau State can months Imam Abdullahi who sheltered 262 Christians during attacks. We had, eulogized him yesterday. May his soul rest in peace. Insecurity. Terrorists launch fresh attack in Katsina community. Kill 2 residents. Injure several others despite peace deal. When I do peace finish, they see the key person. Bandits kill 2, injure many in Katsina community despite peace deal. That's still the same matter where you hear like that. So, and then police arrest suspect over viral video of inhuman treatment in Bauchi. If I play that video, it will pain you well. Housewife, 3 children slaughtered in Kano as infants thrown into well. And then Kano killings, housewives, 6 children killed by unknown assailants and police. And then Uganda's 81-year-old Museveni declared winner, extend 40-year-old as in rivalry. Bobby Wine talk said in the harassment, they do on this one. In fact, in the talk said the election. Now just the results now they call. And then African Union go just they one corner. They see this kind of election we go like this, where opposition they cry, where it they glaring like this. They not go talk. But when one thing happen now, they go say, oh, they don't do this one, they don't do that one. You're tampering on sovereignty. The one where the president then they tamper on sovereignty of the country now, and I know go see I'm not gonna talk. You see the reason why people they talk say it be like saying that the African president then the cost waiting they happen for inside the countries. All right, make I go begin giving a breakdown of some of this matter them know. So today, Ogabayo Onanuga, first of all, bring out evidence of, a video of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and where in go and how in don't use come back from the journey where BC go here. That's why you post that. Make I just give on. Say back I finish with the social media gist. As a post, I say President Tinubu leaving his hotel in Abu Dhabi United Arab Emirates on Saturday for the homeward journey, that is coming back home to his people in Nigeria after attending the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week conference. A very interesting story where BC give us. At least everybody they happy say daddy goes on oyoyo, daddy oyoyo, they come back. But Nigerians then can't post some videos. Yeah? Somebody can't post a video. I go play that video for you where you post. Under that video, because Buhari was bad but agile. Tinubu is kini. What's in it right here? Under the very comment of our spokesperson to president, now you write them like this. Then if you see the video where he post, I am coming. I will show you that video. He composes this song because Tinubu is in here and in here also. Now see, I'm not gonna read them with my hand. Don't tell me to read that for you because I shan't read it for you. I shall not. I shan't read it for you. But the worst part is that even people under this same particular comment now made even more damaging comments. And people are like, wait, Nigerians. It don't reach on that level where this one not just get small respect from a president like that again. What's going to happen? I mean, people wait that abroad. Now, so that they talk to the president. This one, this comment can say, now, wow, hey, may God deliver Nigeria. I'm not going to read all. That's why they believe that Jibrin of Sudan gist somebody else posted. Now, make I show you the video where he say he post and waiting make we make him talk that on. Now he post a video of former President Muhammadu Buhari, right? For the same Abu Dhabi when he been travel go Abu Dhabi, versus video of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he be still travel as he come back from the Abu Dhabi trip. See the two of them. See this now President Muhammadu Buhari when he be visit Abu Dhabi sometime ago. See then this now President Tinubu. Now he come put that in where he put. Kai, it ain't good. What can I just tell me? It ain't good. Now, because Buhari was bad, but Tinubu was, hey, why do they do like this now? Why do they do like this, Nigerians? We're gonna calm down now. Hey, so what's in there wrong? Okay, all right. I just make a given. Somebody I won't tag them low confidence. Now, what's in they tag the video? Say low confidence. Low confidence. Ew. This one no good at all. But by the way, make I show you that video whereby another guy himself been post concerning the president. I think they announced it. That's the video today. Now they see our agile president, very agile president. Yes, that is our agile president. I'm not gonna see where our agile president the enter motor as he do say he don't finish the conference, so this is go for inside Abu Dhabi. So yes, he's coming back. So people just be very, 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 very excited. So this one, so you see, that's good. But I'm coming back. Before I enter matter we get to do with Shehu Sani, because that one day in the news. I just make a tell on that. So our presidents don't come back after the visit to go visit Abu Dhabi. But then very quickly, Carlo Ajayi, financial analysts, say there is that Nigeria's economy was way better in 1950s under British colonial masters than after independence in 1960s. Because waiting all these people they know they do us, he decried how Nigeria's fortune in agriculture, such as groundnut, palm oil, cocoa, even rubber, disappeared after post-independence era under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu incumbent and other leaders of African most populous nations. Say it be like say what they just do us say now olule our economy, because what this one mean? Does it mean that we do not actually know how to govern ourselves? Because if you sabi govern yourself, what's it make it be say on the same person colonize now, did they use our resources against you now, did they do this, did they do that? But then when you can't get the opportunity to govern yourself, you couldn't even do jack. Instead, it can't even make sense what's for your people. Why like that? But very quickly, because my guests did wait, make I quickly just jump on other issues. The African Democratic Congress ADC don't restate that it is self-governing political party, insisting that it is not controlled by any single person. So say Atiku Abubakar or not Atiku Abubakar, he don't get any power to do anything, and say he no go fit use ADC as a motor or vehicle to satisfying presidential ambitions. So more than not things, saying waiting what happened with that one. Now waiting they don't restate. And congratulations to Nigeria as they don't knock Egypt Apako to carry the bronze medal for the ongoing AFCON where we say they happen for inside Morocco. But then moving on to other issues we get to do with economy like this. Another economies don't come post something to we did very, very worrisome. And people they talk say, what but why? Why our economy post the day like this? Why? What is going on? What is wrong with our economies? What's going on? Okay, but before I get to that, I think I almost missed that out very quickly. Oh dear, I missed that out very quickly. Well, I could try get them back very quickly. So I mean, okay. So an economist don't post something in context. Say wait, to when I say our inflation did for 15%, or Tinubu, statistics talk say inflation rate talk say our economy did for 15%. But waiting we they see here, and I say the economy actually resemble waiting actually did for more of 50% than 15%. So what is going on here? Exactly. So social commentator Olusegun Bakare now talk this one. He criticized Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, stating that Nigeria's inflation and unemployment levels are far higher than the official figures being circulated by government agencies. How can government agencies circulate 15%? Meanwhile, the reality of unemployment and every other thing what people they see naturally on 50%. He also said that only a mad person will argue reality with those APC maniacs. Oh, he called them maniacs. What is going on here? Hey. Okay, make I go bring on another story very sharply because they rush with time. Make for meet up quickly, go join our guest. Okay, so for other news, very quickly, we hear say Nigeria so far don't spend. They spend about 38.2 billion naira on the welfare of families of on a past African leader, on a past presidents, from the heads of military heads of state to the civilian government. And if you look up now, waiting ABC statistics carry say that they spend to use take care of their families based on their pension, them the agreement to the agree say they're going to pay them for pension. And people are saying that is this really sustainable, especially when the majority of the masses then they suffer. We say we don't get money, but we get the one who will use sustain the affluence and the lavish lifestyle of our past leaders. Them we don't see chop plenty money when they be in government. Is that fair? No. Now Tinubu in all of this, as on the complaint, say things bad, things bad. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said, "Make we tell you something. In case I need to feel our economy, when I need to feel our inflation rate where they low, you see, we are just laying the foundation for the prosperity you will enjoy tomorrow. Because when I go so enjoy that prosperity, going to come off on a nose and an eye. Because this one when they do on a foundation, and I need to get the picture where because now still foundation is day. So make on no worry, na foundation level, now this picture day. When they enter the real level, when I go understand them better. So for now." Please, you guys bear with us because and at the foundation level it is. So that was in a foundation we go shop. Now foundation we go shop. Okay. Nigerian nurses have called for there's a young man whose story is very pathetic, where his two children were in Mina, he's somewhere in Lagos State, and they died as a result of the aftermath of the immunization. And people they talk say they decry of fake immunization in these things and medications we don't get across Nigeria, including normal oral medications. Remember, say NAFDAC, we know they want people to see drugs, fake drugs full for pharmacies. But for the thing to even affect immunization, really to give children, this is very bad. So Nurses Council on the call say maybe investigate the kind of immunization when they actually give these children and how it take happen. Because this one happened for immunization when they give them for Ajang by the primary health care center for inside Lagos. And the young man don't they cry. Twin boys where he just born just died together. Two of them died together. If you see the video the father made, is so pathetic. I wish I can play it, but I need to protect the faces of his children because he showed their faces there. And I'm waiting to make enough fit do them. So I just hope say they go fit investigate and find that so that another person became a fall victim of this kind of thing. Now, ADC say Tinubu increase allocation for governors, but say the allocation will increase for governors don't make any impact. Why? Because in economy, in Tinubunomics, even don't scatter the in increment. You person like Ojo Sokalo say waiting Alex Oti they collect in 2 years now, waiting in collect in 8 years. But waiting the price of thing be at that time don't like 5 times, you don't go 5 times. So if you look at the value of that money where you collect in 8 years, we even buy more things past the value of the money where Alex Oti they collect in these 2 years where you talk about now. That's exactly what's in ADC they talk. So you they make mouth say, oh, you increase money, more money there for governors, more money there for governors. But waiting be the value of the money based on how you keep the economy. What's in the feed do with that money based on how you keep the economy and what's they talk about. Just to also let you know that DSS operatives don't rescue two abducted two pastors where we say bandits and be abducted for inside Kaduna State. For those who they talk, say not be Christian genocide. I bet no vex. Now who they abduct like this? Now traditional worshipers, pastors. That na person who they talk. Even Reverend Achi and his family, where they been kidnapped, they don't also release them. They kill Reverend Achi, but release in wife and in daughter after 2 months when they don't do for captivity, 2 whole months. But why would they talk about this or make a go show you waiting about people they do today for Alex Oti for inside Abia State? Because it was like a carnival today for Abia State. I know people play the audio because they get some kind of music there for the background. So about rally. Hey, people say, he said, person will even post and say, it shocked me today, apparently. It shocked me today. Say people come out in their numbers just to hail Oga Alex Uti. Now, if you remember, the three past governors of Abia State, Governor Ojo Zakalo, Governor T.A. Oji, and Governor Okize Pazo, being common. In fact, all of them be united. People will be not today in good terms, according to what will be here before, unite together. Say they must make sure, say they vote out Alex Uti. Why? Say in the incompetent. If our number 6 man of the state, Oga Benjamin Carlos, say why? Say then go vote out Alex Uti. Say in the incompetent. People can say, what's in be the state of Abia State when have been there? How was Abia State when you were governors? How the state been there? So person now don't try do small good for the states now. On a won't come talk say because say he won't stop pension. One they collect the same salary waste any sitting governor they collect. And as they stop him for Onan, so he go stop him for himself, so that even if he come out tomorrow, he not go receive the same pension. But what is going on? A governor will come and work only for 4 years or 8 years and receive a pension that even a civil servant in 1 month pension, a civil servant will get to work for like 50 years to get that 1 month pension when they will collect. Why? What is the greed about? This is not what people they talk about, and it's very annoying. So these now Abia State people for Aba precisely coming out in their numbers to hail their governor, and they hail them. If I to say I play the audio, I'm not gonna hear the hailing, but because of the music they went in the background and YouTube policies, I not feel clear. So and I not feel hear the things and what they really talk for inside the background. Now, moving on to other issues very quickly. We hear a fire outbreak for inside a Oyinbo access for inside Lagos State. Don't kill a very elderly woman waiting 103 years old. And this one be very painful. For inside the apartment where she be trapped when the fire outbreak happened. And this is a very painful development. This is a very long read. I wish I fit talk am. But then Samson Itado will be the person will be the Oga Patapata for Yaga Africa. He don't write something very deep as he talk about how democracy under Nigeria use the for Nigeria right now use the under pressure and say this pressure are threats to Nigeria's 2027 election. Say this pressure who would deal like this. Say it get us to be for Nigerian 2027 election. And a lot of people don't complain about them, but this now something we're supposed to be eye opener for all of us to feel see. And then very quickly, Abuja-based Nigerian businessman Anthony Anomoye don't raise alarm over alleged attempts to assassinate him, accusing the traditional ruler of his community, Ezedimbo Nzebeku, the third of Uboba in Delta State, of orchestrating threats against his life. So you don't say, oh, yeah, in King one killer more. What you doing that, bros? Okay, but make we quickly go straight to that healthcare center. Where you say they in dilapidated state. So the healthcare center. People don't raise concern over the deteriorating conditions of the Ibere Kodo Primary Health Center for inside Ibejuleki of Lagos State government. Now, this followed a recent visit by advocacy group Tracker and highlighted in a statement released by Monit NG today, Saturday. Drawing attention to the situation, the group stated that this is Ibere Kudi Primary Health Center in Ibejuleki, Lagos State, as discovered during a Tracker team visit. The facility, which reportedly serves thousands of residents in the area, was described as being in a state of severe neglect. According to the organization, the only PHCN service, the only PHCN serving thousands of residents has been abandoned to decay, denying the community access to safe and dignified healthcare system. So this is really, really very disturbing because the only primary health center, PHC rather, wouldn't get. If you see the way you did, if you see the pictures, you go wonder whether na Lagos be this. I've been in my village for inside Ndoki be this, now this primary health center. And it is very, very unfortunate to see things like this. Now, before I invite my guests come over very quickly, make a play on a video. So Nigerians don't go dig out a video of Ogashi Husani. When he say, remember saying in talk saying that Igbos, now he go tell US, say, now go lie to US, say Christian genocide for Nigeria when Christian genocide no day. Say nobody they kill Christians for Nigeria. So as he talk that one, Nigerians don't go dig out a video where he make when in they accuse a particular ethnicity, a particular group, saying that then they cause the killing for Northwest, now then they cause the killing for even South, now then they cause the killing for Middle Belt. And people say, wait a minute, Oga. Now you've been talk this one. How come you're not mentioning Igbo? Make I go watch and where you talk about.
The terrorists killing people in northeastern part of Nigeria are not from Congo. They are not from Malawi. They are not from Namibia. They are not from Egypt. They are northerners and they are Muslims. The bandits in the northwestern part of Nigeria, they are not from Senegal. They are not from Mali. They are not from Morocco. They are not from Guinea or Guinea-Bissau. They are Fulanis from the northwestern part of Nigeria. So it is for us to solve the problem. It is not for anybody to solve the problem. They are not speaking Chinese, they are speaking Fulani language. They are not speaking Spanish, they are speaking Hausa language. They are not speaking Mandarin, they are speaking Kanuri languages. When will the North sit down and address the whole of these bandits and terrorists are not more than 5,000 people?
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I bet joining me for inside my studio now, Alex Barbir. Alex Barbir now one American way basically do wonders for inside the middle belts of Nigeria. I think they help rebuild houses for the people the way BC don't be displaced by the actions of these Fulani terrorists who are just where their brother just talk about right now. Their actions, those ones where they don't pursue for their families, they help them rebuild their houses and they give them a lot of relief. And I just, think say they appropriate make we hear from them and how it be say what's even touching my way they do this kind of way they do. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining us. Good evening, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Welcome.
thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Precious.
Thank you, Alex. So tell
Yes,
us,
ma'am.
first of all, what is it that you do in Nigeria?
Yes, so we're doing work all across Nigeria, and we have a specific initiative to be able to rebuild the villages that have been burned down by terrorism. And there's millions of displaced people across Nigeria, people that have very little food, very little water. And the reality is, many of them cannot go home because they don't have the funds to rebuild what they lost. And so we have a big initiative to be able to be the ones who recognize this need and to come and bring hope and to build beacons of light in these villages for these people that are victims of terrorism. And we also specifically help advance the gospel across Nigeria. We drill water wells, we build schools, churches, clinics, and we target the places that are in the most need.
Why are you doing this? You're not a Nigerian. Why the interest in Nigeria and why the empathy towards these people that have been displaced? That's what many would want to know.
Yeah, so it begins with the gospel. It begins with Christ. Christ didn't only target one specific person or type of person. And
Hmm.
so there's a specific heart of Christ to be able to go to the ends of the earth, to share the heart of Christ, to be able to hear the cries of the needy and the poor and the oppressed, and to be able to come alongside them, to support them, to help them, and to show them not just through prayer, but in action. Many people are praying and praying and praying, and oh, someone else do it, someone else go, someone else give. But Christ calls us to go. And Christians are supposed to go into the fire, not run away from it. And so the real reason and the purpose is because of Christ and who he is, how he loves us, and what he has called us to be in the world.
Interesting. So how long have you been doing this? And how did you
Yes.
discover Nigeria? Considering that it's a way distance destination from where you are.
Yeah, yeah. So I began the ministry about 3 years ago in
Okay.
2023, and my heart is specifically the unreached people and the persecuted people. And so we go to the ends of the earth, many of the places where there's conflict, there's issues, there's critical need, but there's not much being done in these places to be able to reach them with the gospel and to also come alongside the oppressed and the persecuted in a significant and a meaningful way.
Do you believe people are persecuted? Because you said your heart reaches out to persecuted people. Why do you think people in Nigeria are persecuted? Do you think people are persecuted in Nigeria?
There's no question. Statistically, Nigeria is the most dangerous country in the world for Christians. Statistically,
But our government has insisted that there is no persecution. You see, that's the thing, and that's why I thought we should have this conversation. Why do you believe? I mean, you have been on ground. You have said, why are you laughing? I can't they laugh me like this. I don't like this guy laugh. So you
uh,
have been on ground. You have seen because you're not just doing this from America. You visit Nigeria. You go to these villages.
Yeah.
So you see for yourself, you hear from the people who have experienced these things
Yeah.
themselves, one on one, not from a third
Yeah.
party. Why do you believe there is
Yeah.
persecution of Christians in Nigeria when our governments are telling you people that there's? I don't see the way you're laughing about this.
Kai.
Our government.
So, I'm not receiving information from other people in the country. I myself, I go to the village. Even the villages, as buildings are still burning, we're there.
Whoa.
And so,
As you're rebuilding, they're still burning more.
well, so when there's attacks that happen and I'm in the country, I go.
Hmm.
I don't wait until a year later. I go. I go to be able to tend to the victims, to minister to people, to assess damage, to see how can we restore this place instead of waiting years and years and years, waiting for the government to say, "Oh, yes, we promised to rebuild. We're gonna have billions of naira for these people," and years go by, nothing happens. And so the reality is that the statistics cannot be argued. There's facts, and the facts are that there's more Christians killed in Nigeria than every country in the world combined together. This is a fact. And so it's not just something that people talk about or report, but I myself have gone, I've seen, I experienced, I talked to the villagers. I'm in the villages that have just been burned down. There's still blood everywhere. There's even bones, specifically in Yawara village. That's an area that we've been rebuilding for the past 2 months. And so I'm actually have an ongoing operation in Yawara village, rebuilding every house and the market that has been burned down. And so I was there in November. And I'm in the village. I'm not just from afar receiving videos. I'm there every single day, helping the construction, leading construction. I'm with the actual villagers. And even just one shop right along the main road there, on the border of Nasarawa State, there's bones in the rubble. And these were, I think, in that specific shop, there were 6 or 7 people that were killed, primarily children. And so they were burned alive. They weren't shot. They were caught in the fire and burned. And their bones are still in the rubble. And so I held those very bones. Because it's those bones that are crying out. And so those cries from the bones are being ignored by not just the Nigerian government, but the world, the Christians in the West. The cries are just, nobody's hearing them. Nobody's responding.
Wow, you just got me a bit emotional with that. It's really very sad. Um, I'm sorry. So this is really very sad. But then, what do you say when Nigerian government constantly insists that there is no genocide of Christians? I mean, they've often said
Yeah.
that, in fact, that more Muslims die in such attacks than Christians. So, from your experience, what is
Yeah.
the statistics of Christians that you've experienced within, that are victims vis-a-vis that of Muslims? Because our government officials have
Yes.
consistently stated that from their statistics, that you actually have more Muslims die than Christians. But it's just
Yeah.
that of Muslims are underreported. But for someone like you who that is on ground, you ought to have seen a few.
Of
What's
course.
statistics you've seen between the Christian,
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a few things to be able to address. Number one, the primary killers of Christians are not Boko Haram and not ISWAP. It's the Fulani
eh,
militias.
eh, eh,
Those are the ones who are the ones that are killing Christians in mass. Yes, Boko Haram in the Madaguri and those areas, even in Adamawa, some in Taraba, they target Christians, but they also kill Muslims. And there is somewhat of a even divide because even some mosques have been burned. There's a bomb in a mosque recently. And
yes.
so, yes, in some of these places where Boko Haram and ISWAP are operating, they are killing Muslims as well. But they do target, and they have openly said that they want to eradicate Christians and that they would convert to Islam. But those are not the ones who are killing the Christians primarily. It's the Fulani militias across the Middle Belt within Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, even in Taraba. There's been many, many attacks recently around the Wukari area.
Yes.
And so these are the places where Christians are being killed every single day. I
Are
receive
you are
pictures
you
all the
aware that these attacks are now approaching Kogi, Kwara,
Kogi and
and
Kwara have
Enugu
increasingly
State,
gotten worse.
and
Yes,
and
yes.
and the particular local government around Enugu State? Are you aware that it's
Oh,
approaching those areas?
I'm very aware because some of the people that I work with, they have missionaries across Nigeria and many in Kwara. And these people tell us the truth. And so we've seen an increasing amount of attacks in Kwara and Kogi, in Enugu and all these different places. But historically, for almost 2 decades, Plateau, Benue, and Kaduna had been ravaged by the Fulani. And I'll tell you what, all these villages I've been to personally, I've
Mhm.
even responded to attacks within 24 hours. I'm there ministering to the family. We're bringing aid. We're seeing how we can rebuild different places. I have not come across one where it was a Muslim that was killed. It was Fulani herdsman has killed Christian, has ambushed this farmer 100 meters away from a checkpoint, cut them in pieces and ran away, beheaded them again and again and again. I'll tell you one quick story. I was doing a survey to drill a water well in a specific region of Plateau. And we went there, we walked through the villages to see, okay, what is their water source? Where can we drill? What is the need? And that evening we left. And that evening, Fulani had come to that village. They attacked a specific family. They beheaded all of the boys, they killed the father, and they left. And so we came back the following morning to be able to minister to the family, to bring aid, to see what had happened. And this is the situation in many villages across Nigeria, specifically the middle belt with Plateau, Benue, and Kaduna. All the time. I've seen victims with the slashes across their skull, across their back, their arms, their hand cut in half, people having their arms cut off again and again and again. In Zike village in Miango in April, they killed dozens and dozens of people. They burned dozens of homes.
I have a woman in Zike village. In fact, three women, two amputated, one other one has
Yeah.
said, I'm trying to raise funds to rebuild her house. Not her house in her village, but her house within
Yes.
just Metropolis. Because her
Yes.
house in her village, she said she still has trauma trying to leave, go back to that
Of
village.
course.
So
Yes.
we're trying to
Many.
see how we can rebuild her house in
Yeah.
just so that she can restart life
Yes.
again. Even as I
Yes.
speak to you, she still suffers from pains from the burns injuries because she said they locked them up and burnt the house. So
Yeah.
she's still suffering
Exactly.
from things from the burn injuries. It's
Yeah.
it's
It's
crazy.
horrible. And so we were in Zika village the morning after the attack. And so there was still smoke rising from some of the homes. There was still blood splattered on some of the walls. Blood on. There was
That
a
was about
big.
April 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually rebuilt Zika village within a week of the attack. Roughly, we had materials in the village to rebuild. And so the homes that were burned, we brought zinc, we brought nails, we brought lumber, wood, to be able to rebuild. And so I went back there mid-May, and all the homes pretty much had been finished. And so nobody, the government was there. When I visited the village a day after, we had to wait for a convoy of roughly 50 vehicles. The governor was there, all the security, all these people making promises, saying this, saying that. But where is the action? We were the ones who actually rebuilt.
Hmm.
So
So how did you know these were Fulanese that conducted these attacks? How did you know?
so the specific
Because some people would say this is profiling an ethnic group, and it's really very dangerous because not all Fulanis are Muslims. You still have a
correct.
few of them who are Christians, and not all
Yes.
of them are these killers. So how did you
Right.
know? Aren't you wrong
Yeah.
profiling an ethnic group?
Yeah. Not all Fulani are the ones who are carrying out the attacks, but it's the Fulani who are generally the ones who are doing the attacks because there's not a clash. A clash is when you have one group with weapons and they're fighting another group with weapons and they're fighting each other. But where are the
So it's
weapons of
not
all the
farmers'
Christians?
headers clash like our leaders say it is, because as
Yes, they all
security
say
needs to
this.
say it's farmers' headers clash. You don't
Yes.
believe there is a thing like that?
Where is the clash? Because where are the weapons of the Christians? How many villages have been burned down by Christian militias? It's the Christians who are being slaughtered and slaughtered and slaughtered and slaughtered. The ones who are displaced. How many millions of Fulani are displaced from their villages? I haven't seen many. It's the Christians who are having their villages burned down to the ground and they're gone. They have nowhere to go. They're in camps. If you go to Benue, if you go to the IDP camps, how many Fulani are in there?
Have you seen any Fulani Muslim, not Christian, in any of the IDP camps? A Fulani Muslim?
I personally have not. I've not.
Haven't.
I have not. I was
So
in, for example, in Makurdi. I went to International Market where the IDP camp is for main majority of the Yawara people. They're all villagers. They're all Christians. Uh,
why do you think the Fulanis there are targeting Christians? Why do you think that is happening? What's the
So
reason you could decipher?
there's a couple different reasons.
Okay.
One is expansion and conquest. In Islam, Islam was founded on conquest. The growth of Islam in the world was through conquest. The reason that we had the Crusades were not offensive, they were defensive. The Crusades stopped Islam from taking over Europe. And so rooted into the Fulani identity is this pride and this viewpoint of that they are above others and that everyone
Mm.
else is subject to them. And so they
How,
want to
how did
expand
you know
their
this, Alex? I hope people have not been feeding you with some stuffs. How did you know this?
because if you talk
I,
to the
I like the way
people,
you smile when I ask you some very obvious questions, but it's okay. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
if you talk to the people, if you talk to some Fulani, if you talk to the villagers who live in these places, I mean, I have close friends who have close friends that are Fulani people. Some of them have even spoken out against what their own brothers and other Fulani are doing.
Hmm.
And so this has been the case with a friend of mine. He had someone in, I think it was Sokoto State,
Hmm.
and he was against what the terrorists were doing and his Fulani brothers. And they actually took over his village, were trying to force them to pay taxes and all these different things, or else be killed or have your home burned. And so he actually fled, and he's against what his Fulani brothers are doing. But he is
Hmm.
Fulani, and he's the one who's also relayed to us some of this information regarding the truth of what these so-called bandits are doing, which in reality, these people are not bandits. Bandits is being nice to them. They're terrorists. They're not just some random people who, they steal a bag of rice here and there, or
So you
maize.
think that calling them bandits is just Nigeria's government's way of deflecting on their crime?
I completely agree because bandits, it makes it seem like, oh, there's these few insurgents that are just hiding in a forest and they steal a few things here and there. They're just these bandits, it's just normal criminals. But you can't have an entire country surrounded and full of these people across the country who are killing, burning as they please. I mean, that's what it is. Every day they're being killed. I mean, in Benue, every single day I'm receiving messages. I'm seeing reports: death, death, kill, kill, attack, attack. In Guerd, in Guande, all these places, everywhere. And so I think when you call them bandits, you actually it's almost demoralizing in a way because they are terrorists who are ravaging people, Nigerians. Whether you're Muslim or Christian, these people are being killed. And yet the government is not doing much to stop it. Up until recently, it seems like they're increasing because of the pressure from the United States. But for the past 2 decades, is it really true that at one of the most powerful countries in Africa, one of the richest countries in Africa, that they don't have the power, the skill, the money, the military force to secure their own country? They're sending people on peace missions and getting involved with other countries, but then people in mass are being slaughtered in Nigeria, yet where's the government? What are they doing?
We're getting back to the duty of the government, but I'd like to go back to the question around why you think this is happening. And you said it's about conquest. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, so conquest is big. It's also religious. And when they attacked Yawara, what were they chanting as they are shooting and burning and entering the village?
We hear is Allah Akbar.
They're not saying we love Jesus. They're not saying we want grass, we want more land for cattle. They're saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And so why would you say that if there's no type of religious involvement in the attacks? You can't say there's no religious involvement, yet when they murder and they kill and they burn and they behead and they cut people in pieces, they're chanting Allahu Akbar. Praise Allah.
People, Muslims will tell you that. I mean, it's not everyone who shouts Allah Akbar that is actually a Muslim. Some of them may actually be defaming their religion by using the name of their religion to conduct crimes or commit crimes. So,
Well, what does Islam teach
what
in
does
the
it?
Quran? What
What
does
does it
Islam
teach?
teach
What does it teach?
in
I'm
the
not a Muslim. I
hadiths?
wouldn't know.
In the hadiths, it says that religious jihad is the most honorable, is the most important, is the best. In Surah 9, it literally talks about religious fighting and to specifically attack and kill those who don't submit to Allah. This is in the Quran, in Surah 9. You can look it up for yourself in Surah 9. And most Muslims don't even read this, or they just ignore it, they don't respond to it. And so, when you see people who are carrying out such attacks, especially in the name of Allah, you can't say they're radical. They're not radical. They're following the Quran. The ones who don't follow are the ones who are, the ones who do not follow in that are the ones who are not truly following. That's the truth. I mean, if you leave Islam, what do the hadiths tell you to do? What is the penalty for apostasy? It's not giving them cash or giving them some maize. It's death. It says you should kill those who leave Islam. And so when violence is ingrained into Islam, it's all about submission. It's all about conquest. It's all about you listen to us, you follow us, or you die or you pay tax. That's ingrained into the identity of Muslims. And so it's no surprise when they're attacking and killing in the name of Allah. In fact, I'm not mad at them for doing that because the reality is they're following the Quran. And you know what? That means they are devoted. They truly believe. And that's why you can praise Allah, Allahu Akbar. That's why you can praise God as you're killing. Because they believe that what they're doing is true. They're believing that what they're doing is what they're supposed to do. And so, yeah, praise God we're doing this because we know we're supposed to do this and we're carrying it out. So, yeah, praise God. And so they're not radicals. That's what everybody keeps getting wrong. They're saying they're radical extremists, radical Muslims, radical this. They're not radical. They're following the teachings of the Quran.
What does that mean to the world generally now?
It means that we need to look at the issue of Islam and what it teaches and how they operate as a true threat to Western society. The reality is that Islam is incompatible with Western society. You can see this across the UK, in Germany, in Austria, Sweden, all these places where they thought that there's not going to be any issue if we just allow millions of people to come in here. We don't vet them. We don't know what they believe. We don't know how they act. London has gone completely downhill. Many places you're seeing, I mean, even in America, you've had honor killings. You've had people in America who have left Islam and their daughters, their sons are killed because they left Islam in America. This has happened. It's happening all across Europe. In Africa, this is the norm. If you speak to anybody, if you leave Islam, you should be killed. Sometimes they only kick you out of your family and they don't talk to you again. But the reality is, there are many Muslims that I have directly spoken to who want to leave. They don't truly believe in Islam. They don't truly follow. But because there is a threat that if they leave, they will either be killed or completely just expelled from their family and society, they're too fearful to leave or to say anything. It's bondage. It's slavery. And most people, if you actually talk to them and have a real conversation, this is what they're going to tell you. I've talked to them. I've talked to ones in the north, in Kanu, in Bauchi, Muslims.
All right. So, I mean, from your visits and experience, from your visits and
Yeah.
outreach in Nigeria, what has been the response of Islamic leaders and core northern leaders to some of these things going on, vis-a-vis the response or reactions of Christian leaders?
Yeah. So there's two aspects. One is obviously we have seen across the Islamic leaders in Nigeria that they have completely rejected the idea that there is mass killing and genocide. They've protested in Kanu with banners protesting the streets. There's no Christian genocide. There's no Christian killing. Nothing is happening. But then, can you explain to me the blood? Can you explain to me whose bones are in the rubble? Can you explain to me the thousands of villages that have been completely deserted? Are we just making this up? Are the graves empty? I mean, it's disgusting that even some of these people are claiming these things. And you know what's even more striking? If there is nothing happening, why did the Nigerian government pay almost $10 million
I was
to a
going to come
lobbying
to that
firm
now. Calm
to
down, brother. Brother, be coming down. Be coming down. I'm coming to that. Okay, go ahead. Now you started it. I was going to ask you that question, but it's okay. Go on. Go on.
let me go back. Let me rewind a little bit.
Okay.
The reality is that there is interest in rejecting Christian genocide.
Why do you think there's that interest? Why?
It goes back to conquest. They want to take over.
So they rather deceive you that there is nothing going on, so you keep living in denial.
Well, if there's nothing happening in the international world, all they know is that there's no issue in Nigeria, well, then the people who have interest in taking over, expelling Christians, and holding power will only increase and further their own initiatives.
No,
But
no. Okay, go ahead. Just land your thoughts.
No, 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 go.
Because I was going to ask, our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a Muslim, but a Yoruba Muslim. He's from northern Nigeria. So
Yeah.
why would the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu know this and then still help the cover up? Could he be part of those who want other places or ethnic groups in Nigeria conquered or other religions suppressed? It's hard to believe that, because the Yorubas have been the most peaceful people in terms of religious practice, where you can see a mother a Muslim, a father a Christian, and the kids choose any of the religions they want. So why do you think, or do you think that perhaps all of these is something that the government is unaware of, or you think that they are aware of this and they're helping also? Why do you why do
So
oh, okay, go ahead.
a couple things to respond to.
Okay.
Do we think that Tinubu is stupid? I don't think he's stupid. I don't
Cannot
think
be.
he's stupid. I think he's very aware of his own country. Very aware. For 2 decades, nothing has been done. Do we think that nobody in the Nigerian government has any idea what is happening in Nigeria? No. Do we think that they have no power? They have power. Do we think they have no money to be able to deal with these things? No. They have too much money. They're choking on money. They're choking on money.
You say Nigerian government is choking on money.
Oh, they're choking on money.
No,
Come
you
on.
don't know we're broke. You've never heard that Nigeria is broke.
Who's broke?
Our president said we're broke. We don't have money. You don't know. Are you not
All
seeing
the
the economy?
leaders,
People are suffering.
all the leaders have brand new Land Cruisers. They have 20 security guards running along the road with them. Me, I show up in a 30-year-old Subaru hatchback. Our engine is broken. But then all the leaders, they all have brand new Land Cruisers, big houses.
Oh, you're not a politician in America. That's why now. For politicians here, we have to safeguard them because of their
Yeah.
job. It's very risky.
Yeah,
So
we, yeah, we safeguard the politicians while the actual people who vote them into office are killed.
ew.
That's the truth. The politicians, they're eating their money. They're choking on so much money. Yet it's off of the blood of the ones they're supposed to be protecting and speaking on behalf of. This is the truth. This is the
Wait,
truth. And
so
so, to go back to your question,
yes.
the government knows. How can all of these arms and weapons and AK-47s be moved into Nigeria, yet nobody knows?
No, no, Alex, I'm sorry to say, but you do not know what you're saying. You can't be serious with what you're saying. That a government is aware that there is a conquest mission on its people and they are playing dumb and then rather promoting, against the conquest mission just to deceive the people to be further conquered. I don't believe you. No government to do that. Can you as a father do that to your children? So why would our fathers, our leaders, who are our fathers, do that to us? I don't believe you. Why do you
There's two
believe?
things. If people are evil and people are after money and people are after power, they will do anything. That's the
It is
truth.
about money and power.
Even Christians will do bad things too. If it's power, greed, money, pride, these things change people. They change people. I mean, Fulani people are in some of the highest positions of government, in security, in the military, in the government. And so Nigeria is under siege. Nigeria is under siege. You know, the government talks about we're a sovereign country. What sovereignty is there when your own people are being massacred by supposed uh, unknown gunmen and herders that you say you have no control over? The reality is that I even have first person intelligence from a commander in Nigeria who had been stationed somewhere. And during his tenure, there were no attacks. And the reason was he was rejecting the bribes from the Fulani people. They wanted
Oh,
to pay him, they wanted to give him cattle to be able to carry out the attacks in this region. And he said no. And so during his tenure, which was short, there were no attacks. And so
what,
he
what
was,
what area was that? What was his jurisdiction?
I can't say for the safety of the person. Um,
Wow.
and then he was removed. And then attacks resumed. And so Even when you travel anywhere in Nigeria, especially in the rural areas, there's many checkpoints. And in these checkpoints, all the different trucks, the vans, they're always trying to take money. And so, what do you think is happening when arms are moved across borders, through different places, through rural areas? People want money. And so, if you can pay the right amount of money, they will let you through. This is called corruption. This is in many places in Africa. It's in America also. Don't, it's in America also. It just looks a little bit different. But the reality is that weapons have entered Nigeria, and all the Fulani, many of these people have AK-47s and automatic weapons. Yet the Christians, if the Christians had weapons, they would be fighting back and defending their villages instead of being burned and killed and beheaded. And so the Christians don't have weapons. If the Christian is found to have even one bullet, 10 years in jail, gone. But the Fulani, how many of them are being prosecuted? How many of these attackers are in prison? How many of them have been held accountable? I mean, even since the attacks, I was in Plateau in the middle of December. I was trying to leave to go back to Abuja to be able to fly back to America. That morning, in Barkin Ladi, around an area, I believe it was Bisichi, they killed, I believe, 12 or 13 people. And so we were there as they're unloading bodies from the van. Tell me, how many of those attackers are in jail? How many of those attackers have been held accountable? None. And so the reality is, unless some people have courage and boldness to speak out against and to fight against, nothing will change in Nigeria. Nothing. Giving more money for military intervention or for different initiatives is not going to solve the issue, because unless the Nigerian leadership and government wants to stop the killing, it won't change. It doesn't matter how much money is given.
So you think our government is not just serious about stopping it, rather
No,
than aiding it?
no. If they were
I mean,
serious, they would have already done it.
but with the Trump the recent deal with your government, we have seen increase of
Yes,
momentum in our military,
yes,
and they're trying
yes.
that, but the attacks too have increased. But just like you said, we've barely seen, we've barely seen arrests and prosecutions, and I don't know why we don't see them in that much number. Even while this is going on, it's a bit worrisome too that some states governments are thinking of releasing some that have been captured. I'm sure you heard the news of Kaduna State.
I already know Kaduna. They released many.
Katsina State also trying to do so. So we've heard that. But what's the end goal of all of this? I mean, for the government specifically, not for the people who are causing this mayhem, because you've
Yep.
already said it's about conquest. But for the government, especially those who are not of the same extraction, why do you think they are aiding and abetting this? Because from what you said, it looks more like a situation where the government is fully aware of what's going
Yep.
on, but they
No
rather
doubt.
play dumb than say anything. Why do you think that they're behaving that way?
You know, it's a profitable industry. Even with the NGOs and the UN, they give money to the government. They don't necessarily come of their own will and buy things themselves. It's through the Nigerian government. And so, the reality is, if you have a lot of people who are displaced and have need, then that's a revenue stream for the government. If you have violence and all these different things, I mean, even the military, the government, they make money off of this. They're profiting. And majority of the leadership in a lot of these places and in the government and in security are Muslims, and many are Fulani. But it's not the Muslims and Fulani who are being killed. And so there's a lot of ironies in a lot of what is happening. There's a lot of ironies. And so, no, not every Fulani is bad. Of course not. But the reality is that Christians are not killing the Christians. Tell me how many Christian villages have been burned down by other Christians. I mean, there's many people who have survived these attacks, and they tell you the story of what happened. I mean, they even have sometimes they're even taking videos,
Yes.
and it's the Fulani who are attacking. It's the Fulani voices you hear. It's not Christians. And so the reality is, and the question is, when is the Nigerian government actually going to deal with the issue? Because if they wanted it to be done, it would be done. And the reality is, it's not done, and that shows that they don't want it to be done. I mean, there was a Nigerian I believe he's a general, and he says if the government wanted it to be done within 48 hours or 72 hours, it would be done.
So that would be you trying to quote Abacha, the former head of state, military head of
Yes.
state of the country, who says that if the insecurity festers for more than 24 hours, then that means the government is aware of it.
Yeah.
Whether that's got something to do with it.
I mean,
And
how much do you see this in America? Do you see just widespread militias that are burning homes and communities and villages and killing everybody? No. Do you have crime? Yes, you do. Crime is a part of societies generally, but you don't have widespread killing. And even we have access to many weapons. Oh, I myself have weapons. Most people in America have rifles, but nobody is going and attacking villages. And if that were to happen, the government would be done. And so the reality is, in Nigeria, if you have widespread violence and killing and burning, and it's sustained, it's happening again and again and again and again, then this shows that the government is not taking care of it. They don't want it to stop. There's so much money they can use to stop this. There's so many military members and security members and police and this and that can help stop this. But a lot of times you hear that even when these attacks happen, the security runs away. I mean, Yawara, there was security there when the attack happened, but they couldn't stop it. I mean, basic security. How can you have hundreds of motorbikes go into a village off of a main road and nobody knows? Hundreds of attackers riding in motorbikes. How can nobody know and respond? I mean, to this day, how many of those attackers have been caught after killing almost 300?
all right, so Alex, in the wake of this whole Christian genocide something, first of all, do you believe? I mean, there's been campaign about some ethnic groups in Nigeria going to the United States to report about this Christian genocide. How did you think the US learned about the, persecution of Christians? What's
Yeah,
your
I would say it is people who have spoken to the government, and it's also people who have been posting on social media. And so I think that's where media can be a big benefit to be able to tell the truth. Right now, Nigeria isn't necessarily censored on social media. And so there is some type of freedom to be able to show and tell people what is happening. But there's places in the world that are censored to where you can't. I mean, look at the protesting in Iran. They shut down the
internet?
entire country, the internet, electricity, all these things because they don't want people to see, to know. And so it's because people have been able to share what is happening, but also now people are seeing it with their own eyes. And so when you see it with your own eyes, that can't be denied. I don't use drugs. I don't have any mental issues. I'm not autistic. I'm a good person in terms of my health. And so I've seen these things. I'm not saying I've seen them from afar. I'm saying I've held bones. I've seen blood
So
along the
you know
walls.
that most of the people, some of the people who also die in these attacks are military men. Both Muslims and Christians are in the
Yes,
military in
yes.
Nigeria. So why do you think a government will set up their own soldiers to die, knowing that they are going to be killed, and they allow them to be killed? Because
I don't think
that's the way you sound, with what you've just told us.
I
Why
don't
do you
think
think
they
the government to do that?
well, they don't protect their own people. So why should they protect the security? So why should we differentiate between who they allowed to be killed when they've been allowing Nigerians to be killed for 2 decades? It's not a surprise that they don't really care about random military or security or police losing their life because of something. At the end of the day, it feeds their pocket. And it's sad. It really is that life is not valued. Oh, it's just some random Christian villager in the middle of nowhere. Who cares? It doesn't. I'm in Abuja. I'm in Lagos. It doesn't affect me. Why should I care?
All right. So at the wake of these attacks, our government, we've had our government officials even say they've gone to different international media establishments to negate the propaganda they said it was that
Yeah.
it was a Christian genocide where there isn't. How did that make you feel, especially considering what we have experienced firsthand in Nigeria? How did you feel about that? And including the most recent one, which is paying a lobbyist in your country about
Yeah.
$9 million to counter the terrorism, the Christian genocide propaganda, so to say. Well, how does that
Yeah.
make it?
Disgusted. Beyond disgusted. Why is it that people from other countries have to come to care for your people?
Why do you care? That's what
Why do
people
I
will.
value life more than you?
But some people will think you don't actually value lives. Maybe you're just perhaps running a business. Some people think that way.
I make
That you
little
think
money.
Americans love you more than your leaders love you. Americans don't love you that much. They have their own agenda. Is there some hidden agenda?
How many white people have come to the villages to be able to care for the people?
Hmm.
I'll tell you, most of the villages I've been to, a white person has never entered. I was in Pocos, in the villages recently. Many villages that were attacked by over like thousands of fighters
You
on
can't
Christmas
just stay
Eve.
focused. Mhm.
I asked every village, all the villagers, the leaders, has a white person come here? No, you're the
Why do you
first.
think so?
Because of fear. People are fearful to actually go to the places where there is conflict because there's risk. And so, if I didn't have a heart and a love and a care for the people, why would I risk my life?
How do you secure yourself when you go those places, to those places?
I won't answer. I won't answer just
Because
for
it's
the sake.
important. Your safety is also very important, and I do care.
Yes,
That's why I'm asking.
yes, it is. It is, and there's different things that we're able to do to be able to try to help with security. But this is just part of the risk when it comes to doing work in places where there's critical need. And I don't think that we should wait to be able to help the people. I think there are people that are in critical need right now that we need to go to tend to help to share love with. And so all these people have been so thankful. They're like, you're our only hope.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
Yawada, this is what they've been singing and saying. Nobody has come to help them in that way. Some people have brought rice, different things like this, but even if you go to the IDP camp, they have little food, little water. They poop, they pee in the middle of the streets. They don't have the funds to be able to go back to their village, to be able to become self-sustainable, to heal, to go back to farming. So where is their hope? They're just
Whoa.
they're just
So they
there.
can't go back to their farmings. Moreover, mostly because of the insecurity that they would also face if they go back to their farmings, and
Well,
they don't
yeah,
have. So that means they can't even fend for themselves because they don't have the means to fend for themselves.
correct. Exactly,
Well,
exactly. And so
how?
that's why it's
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me
That's why
let
it's
you.
so important to be able to help them rebuild because they want to go home. They want to be able to heal themselves, but they want to be able to farm. They own land, whether it's family from generations or they bought land for farming. And so that's their way of life, their means of survival. When they're in a camp, they're feeding off of whatever is given to them, which is very little. And so they can't really do anything. They can't really move on in life. And so that's why I'm wondering to myself, from the UN, from all these different big organizations, NGOs, nonprofits that even focus on persecution, how many villages have they rebuilt in these places? I haven't seen any. And I wonder why. Why is there not a rebuilding initiative to get people home instead of being reliant on nonprofits and NGOs and UN? Why are they not helping rebuild?
So I also have a problem with the rebuilding. Before I get to the other question, I want to ask you: for those whom you've rebuilt their houses, what's their safety like? Because some of those places we hear that these attacks reoccur again.
Yeah.
So it's not about going back to their villages. It's also about going back to their farms. And we hear that most of these farms that are mostly far from where they live, they also get to face attacks again. So what's your safety like? Most of them that you've rebuilt their houses, what's your safety like when they go back, and what's your ability to get back to their businesses?
Yeah. So there's a couple different things. One, we assess the area and we assess what the threat is. Is there a imminent and specific threat for this village to be attacked again? Secondly, from what I have seen and experienced, the large scale attacks don't happen in the same village more than once. Generally, something like Yawara doesn't happen to Yawara again. Now, other villages it happens. Maybe there's sustained ambushes, kill two, kill three, kill five, but generally the big, big, big attacks don't happen on the same village again. Generally. We can't guarantee anything. This is what the situation is across Nigeria. But we try to talk to local security forces. We talk to the local villagers, and we get an idea of, okay, is it wise or is it possible to be able to rebuild in this area? And so we base our decision off of that. But what needs to happen is that both the Nigerian government and the US will be informed of every village that is rebuilt. Everybody will know this village in this specific location, these coordinates has been rebuilt. And if anything happens to this village, the Nigerian government is liable. It is
So
their duty to protect the people. And so there are people and organizations who want to help Nigeria, to help the believers, to help the ones who are oppressed and persecuted. And we're doing it. We're helping rebuild to get people home. And it is going to be on the responsibility of the Nigerian government to protect the people and to protect the villages. And
so
so I'm
have there
saying this
been
point now.
re-attacks? Have there been other attacks on those villages rebuilt? They've never faced
No,
attacks again.
no. To this point, no. But I'm making it very clear that when these villages that we're rebuilding are built, if something happens, the Nigerian government is directly liable. And the US knows the coordinates. They know exactly what village is being rebuilt and where. And so I want that to be clear.
From all these missions you're embarking on, the US is aware of all the villages and all the work you're doing. And
They're
all
aware.
so if anything happens in those villages, they hold the government accountable.
They will know.
But does it really matter if you hold the government accountable?
It's the only way forward. For anything to happen in Nigeria, for the killing to stop, for there to be accountability, for there to be real change, they have to know. And people have to have a voice. They have to be bold. They have to have courage. And so I believe that the US has the power to be able to pressure, to be able to encourage the government of Nigeria to be able to fix these issues and to rectify them. And so we're helping the people with a heart in a significant way. And so what we're asking the government is to protect these villages. But even more so, if one thing happens to these villages, the government is liable, and the US government and even other governments know.
Now, speaking about these villages, from your experience and encounter with these victims, how many of them have told you the number of government officials who have visited them like you have visited, who's cared for them like you care for them? Do they have government officials visit often? And what do they say have been the government's
No.
contribution to making them live comfortably?
I've seen many reports of how, president's wife or vice president's wife or different governor's family, they allotted all this money for rebuilding, for village, for this.
Okay, so they don't visit, they just send monies.
A lot of times maybe they send something, but the reality is the villagers never actually see this money. It goes to one person, to the next person, to the next person, but it doesn't make it to the villagers. I mean, all these millions of naira have been supposedly donated. But go to the village and see what the village is like. Ask them, where's the money? How much money did you receive? It's just lip service. It's just to say I did something. But how many of these government officials are going to the village and being with the people, are walking through the village, are meeting with them, hearing their stories of what has happened? Very little. And maybe they come with 50 vehicles and a convoy and they do a ceremony, they take a picture, and they leave. Nothing gets done. It's just a, hey, we're here, we saw this, we're sorry it happened, and then they move on. Again and again and again and again and again, sorry, 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 take a picture. Nothing happens. The violence doesn't stop. The attacks don't stop. The governor and the president and all these people, they don't rebuild. They don't really help. I mean, you have incredibly large budgets specifically for IDPs.
You think that budget is not put to use for the people in the IDPs?
Oh, there's no question it's not in use. I know that in Benue alone, there was roughly I believe, 800 billion budget for IDPs in Benue. 800 billion. Even specifically for rebuilding and relocation. Are we aware of any rebuilding project in Benue from the government or the UN? Have we seen one? If you go to the IDPs, they have little water, little food, and they poop and pee everywhere. Where is the money? Is the 800 billion that is supposedly in the budget for Benue? Where's the money? I mean, the UN came to Yawara when I was rebuilding. When I was physically there building, like I make cement, I lay blocks, I'm with the people. They came to see. Oh, we wanted to see your work. How is it going and what's happening there? We really like what you're doing. And they said that, oh, if you're taking care of the rebuilding initiative, then, we can kind of focus our initiatives in other places. Where was the rebuilding initiative of the UN or any of these groups to begin with? So how can you switch your initiative to something else when you didn't have an initiative here specifically to begin with? Who else is rebuilding? UN, NGOs, government, who else is rebuilding? I'm aware of one project the government did. I believe it was in Borno State. A big project where they built all these homes, kind of made a new town. That's the only one that I'm aware of, but I'm not aware if people actually live there. We see a lot of settlements all across Nigeria that the government or different people have built, but nobody lives there. And so, with an 800 billion budget, where is this money? They come in their nice Land Cruisers and nice cars and all these things. And I'm in a 30-year-old Subaru hatchback. The engine literally broke on my journey. And so, where is this money? I mean, that type of money, you could rebuild every village in Benue in 1 year. All those IDPs could be back in their village. And you could probably pay for personal security for those villages with that money. And that was the budget for 1 year, supposedly. And so, where is that money?
So what's the end you see in sight for all of these issues going on, especially based on the plight of the people that you have helped rebuild their houses and the ones that are yet to, because there's still thousands and millions living in IDP camps across Nigeria.
Yeah.
Can you possibly build all of the houses? I'm not sure it's something that can be achieved. But what's the end do you see?
There's a lot of work to be done, and I definitely feel the burden of it on my shoulders. It's a massive issue to tackle and to go after, and so I can't do it alone. But even if I am alone, I will do house by house by house by house. Whether it takes me 20 years, 30 years, 1 year, 50 years,
Definitely will take a long time.
house by house by house. And so I am working myself heartily along with the other people involved with the ministry to be able to bring hope to the ones who've suffered and been persecuted and killed, lost their families and lost their homes and communities. And so we're hoping to be able to help these people go back to their ancestral lands, the lands that they own, the lands that they've lived on, the lands they want to be in. And we're hoping that the hearts of the government of Nigeria will change.
All right. So recently, our Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, did say that a friend of a thief is a thief. So for those who constantly support these people and say, no, they're not terrorists, they're just people who are grieved with governments and that because government has refused to do some things for them. So like those people may be held accountable. Why do you think that most of those people who seem to be sympathetic to these terrorists have not been held accountable by the Nigerian government till today? Especially
Because
people
they're
close to government.
because they're involved.
Why do you say so? You're an American, you're not a Nigerian. So how do you know they're involved? You see,
What
I think one
what other
is
what
not
other explanation is there? Give me any other explanation.
eh.
If they wanted it to be done, it would be done. But it's ongoing. They're not even trying to stop. Now, yes, because the government has put pressure, there seems to be some things that are increasing. They're tackling more, maybe putting more
Do
money.
you think that what is going on now is done with all sincerity of purpose, or is just
No,
a facade?
absolutely not.
You think it's
No,
a facade?
it's because there was pressure from the US government, and because Trump was saying some things, now the Nigerian people are in the government are saying, "Okay, we're going to do a little more and just, try to satisfied in the near term,
But
but
why
it's not
should
going to
Nigerian
last.
government bother about what Trump thinks? He has his own issues in his country to also deal with. Why should Nigeria bother about what Trump thinks?
Well, I think it's also part of, and I'll just be truthful. You know, Trump also wants to maintain favor with the people that vote for him. And so if,
Or his MAGA base?
yes, and so
And
for example,
most of them are from a Christian missionary group, right?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Most Trump supporters are Christian. Whether they're true Christians, a different conversation. But for the most part, they are of Christian beliefs. Let's just say that. And
Okay.
so, if you have Christian congressmen who are aware of what's happening in Nigeria, and they are putting this on the table of Trump, saying, "Hey, this is an issue that we care about. Our voters care about. We need to do something." Well, if Trump also wants to maintain his likeness and favor among those people, then it's also in his interest that he would do something. Whether it's large scale, small scale, it would not be in his best interest to just ignore it.
So is it safe to say that this whole thing is just for a political gain? Because some people are saying that if Trump actually wants to redeem Nigeria, I mean, some people say, oh, the president has some records in the United States that he could just at the whiskers give a phone call to the attorney general of your country to perhaps get something done immediately. But he doesn't care that much about us. So that's why. I mean, we pretty much may have the president voted in again in 2027 because he's as good as like he's won the election already. So if he cares that much, he could save us from further any of this kind of things if he feels that he's been incompetent in his
I,
leadership so
no,
far. So
I can,
why is he not doing all of that? And
I
then why
complete.
is he acting like he likes Nigeria by trying to come and infiltrate and all that? But some people would have that, that school of thought, really.
I mean, I truthfully would say that I do agree. I do agree. At the end of the day, America and its government wants to do what is in its best interest.
Hmm.
This is just the reality. And this is the I would say the situation for every country in the world.
That's
Every
a
country wants to
that's the
do
hard truth.
that's the truth. Every country wants to do what is best for its country and more so like its interests and its interests in any given day. And so there could be specific interest in tending to Nigeria in some fashion because it'll benefit in some way. Um, but the reality is, I would say if the US government and Trump truly, truly cared, where have they been for 2 decades? Where has the international world been for 2 decades? What about Burma? What about in Syria? What about all these different places where you have persecution, the oppressed being killed? I mean, in Burma, you have the government bombing and has a full-fledged war against its own civilians and citizens. But where is Trump and where is the US government?
Hmm.
I mean, you have minority groups who are oppressed, killed all across the world, but where's the US government? I mean, in Syria, all year in Syria, minority Muslim groups slaughtered, Christians slaughtered, people beheaded. People, I saw a picture recently, someone had their heart cut out and they took a picture of it in Syria.
Whoa.
And so, again, the U.S. met with the Syrian governor leader. I don't know if you want to call him a president or whatever you want to say, Julani.
Uh-huh.
They
Uh-huh.
met with him. They took off sanctions for Syria. Yet
The one who
they've
it was
been.
the same person who was accused of being a
He was an
terrorist.
ISIS leader.
I was going to say
A
that.
few years ago, he had a bounty on his head because he was an ISIS leader, and now he's a
So
president
it's
of a
your
country.
United States that had a bounty on his head, and the same United States is
Yes.
welcoming him to the White
A few
House.
years later, he's shaking his hand in the White House. What do people that are in ISIS just change overnight and become civilized people? Doesn't really happen. And now you have a lot of ISIS fighters in the Syrian government forces. And so, if the United States truly cared, heartfelt, they would be doing so much more. Not just in Nigeria, but other places in the world. And
But,
so,
yeah, go ahead.
and so I think if they really cared, it would be a lot different. And now, no, the US can't be the savior of the world for every country and every people. They want to do what's in the best interest of the American government. And so there's two sides to things. There's two sides to things.
Okay, so that doing what's best interest for the American government does also include sponsoring some of this chaos and disaster going on in the world, because there's been accusation of government, of your government, funding some of this terrorism across the world. What's your reaction to that?
I don't know that I would agree because we give so much money away. I mean, the US is the primary sponsor for the World Health Organization, for the UN, all the defense
Well, they
funds,
pulled that
giving,
from most of those UN organizations now.
yeah, the UN is a whole other situation. Yeah, they're not a lot of corruption. But the US gives so much money to so many countries for military, for health, for all these different things. And a lot of those things are products of having terrorism. And so, why would they sponsor what is directly costing them so much money? What is the benefit besides
Mm.
losing trillions of dollars? And so, I don't really see that. I haven't seen any direct evidence of that personally. I'm not going to act like I'm the most knowledgeable in that specific sphere. That's not necessarily what I study and specifically look at a lot.
Yes, I understand.
Um, but I would say it's costing the US a lot of money and people.
Okay, so let's get back to your work, to your core. The reason I called you here. Enough of some slight geopolitics. So
Yeah.
getting back to the reason why I invited you, you've been doing so much in Nigeria, and to be specific, you're doing this as a Christian missionary from the United
Yeah.
States.
Correct.
That's the
Correct.
reason why you're doing this.
That is
How
the
do you
sole
get
reason.
funds? How do you get funds?
Yeah, so it's a mixture of people individually help support the ministry financially, whether they give every month to the ministry, yearly, whatever. I also have churches from America that also support the ministry. And I also take some people on team missions in different countries that also help fundraise for the work. And so it's kind of a mixture of people, churches, organizations all coming together to help fund the work.
Okay, so is a mission, or you're it's centered in Nigeria alone or across the world generally? And
I do work in other countries. I've
what
done
other
stuff.
countries?
Yeah,
What
so
other
I have
countries?
ongoing work within Syria, within the DRC, within Burma. I have some work in some other like just countries that I won't get into. But we're doing this type of work all across within Africa, into the Middle East, into Asia, specifically in more both unreached and areas where there's a lot of conflict and great, great, great need that people are not really tending to.
Now, in all of the conflicted countries you have done your advocacy, what is the peculiarity of the Nigerian situation if you compare it to the other countries you've been to?
Nigeria is probably the most wide scale, I think, in terms of the killing. And it's been happening for 2 decades and it
So,
hasn't
by wide
changed.
scale, you mean that Nigeria has more victims of the killings and more numbers in terms of these incidents? Is that what you're
I would
saying?
say in terms of Christians specifically being targeted, Nigeria statistically is the most dangerous and the worst. It's a fact. Yes, there's been wars in different countries and killings and civil war, things like that. But in terms of religious, that's the separating factor is religion. Because in Sudan, I mean, you've had thousands of people that have been killed, but it's not a religious issue. It's more so ethnic, also power, things like that. And so Nigeria is more so religious than it is anything else. And so that's where there's a massive issue. You also have this happening in the eastern DRC, in North Kivu province, around Butembo, Beni, Goma, those areas, and you have Christians being slaughtered. I mean, I've pictures of multiple people that were beheaded, villages. I mean, just ravaged, just like Nigeria, across eastern DRC. I mean, just absolutely disgusting things. And the question is, well, what is the DRC government doing? Why are they not stopping this? It's the same question with Nigeria, but I would say it's wide scale across Nigeria, whereas in the DRC, that type of issue is more so in eastern DRC in that specific region, where Nigeria, from east to west, north to south, it's an issue.
Now, if you look at the way these attacks have been recently, there's been, even though we know that the Kwara State and the Kogi states of this world are within the north central axis of, of Nigeria, but there's been increased attacks in Oyo State, for instance. In fact, just this January alone, we've read about more than 5 cases of bandits, that is the same armed Fulani terrorists, killing people in Oyo State. So that means it's moving forward further south now.
Yeah.
We've heard of such attacks in Ondo State too, Osun State too have suffered that. And Enugu State, especially, I think a particular local government, is also one a local government in Enugu State that shares boundary with, I think, Kogi or one of those states, Benue states, So they also have suffered these attacks. That means it's moving further. If what do you see, what's the future, what's a prediction of what these attacks may be like if not curbed?
At some point, Christians are going to be exterminated.
Oh, you think this is about extermination of Christians?
I mean, villages are deserted. I mean, thousands of villages
Oh
are
yes,
completely
in fact,
deserted.
there's a village right now in Kogi State where you don't. Oh, I think I'll play that video. A young man, they made a video of a particular village he went to in Kogi State, in Yagba West local government area, specifically of Kogi State. And I don't know if you heard about the Equa church members that were kidnapped before Christmas. Did you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
about
yeah.
some? I think that's the village where that happened, and the village is totally deserted. In about 5 minutes long video, there was no sound of a single human being in the video. Where he was just
I
making
mean,
a walking around the village.
e-
There was no one around at all, and this
even
is the case in some villages in Plateau, Benue, and other areas. So that's why I'm asking, what do you
yeah.
see, since these attacks are pushing further now? I mean, in a village in Oyo State, the bandits sent a note and said they're coming to attack, and people were afraid and beginning to run for their lives.
Yeah.
So where do you see this heading or headed?
It's only going to get worse until the government does something. That's just the reality. Christians are going to continue to suffer. Villages are going to be burned. People are going to be running for their lives until the government does something, until they actually correct the issue, or more so, want to stop it. And so it's just going to get worse. And that's what we've seen even just over the past couple of years. I mean, how can you have a country claim sovereignty, yet your own country people are being killed every single day and whole communities are extinct? What sovereignty do you have in a country like that? Can you even call this a country?
Oh my goodness.
What is Nigeria? You say you have a country of Nigeria. What is Nigeria when your own people are slaughtered and villages burned? They can't live in peace. And you're doing nothing to protect them. What sovereignty do you have? That's my question. I'm not advocating for any people to come in and do anything. All I'm saying is you cannot claim sovereignty when you don't even have control over your own country.
What would you have had a government do differently? Because they will say they're trying their best, but the situation is just overwhelming for them. So what would you have had them do differently?
Well, there's so much corruption in the government and they're profiting off of the violence and
How
off
do
of
you
the
know about this
attacks.
corruption? You're not a Nigerian. How do you know there's corruption?
I've spent enough time in Nigeria to know the truth. It doesn't take long to find out the truth in Nigeria. When every single checkpoint I stop at, they try to take my money. Police, military, everybody's trying to take money every
Why
time.
do you think they're doing that? But those people don't represent our government. So why do you blame the government for
Well, they
someone
do.
else's
They're
ineptitude?
they're 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 part of cities, towns, villages, and government forces, and they try to take money. I mean, I'll give you one piece of information. When I went to rebuild Yawata village, I was directly told by the government, SEMA, Humanitarian Affairs, the government, that I'm not allowed to rebuild the market. They said, "Oh, the government has plans to rebuild the market, so please don't do anything regarding the market. Well, you can build the homes if you want to do homes, but don't do the market because we're gonna do the market." And so they said they'll send me the plan in maybe 1 or 2 days, so I can, maybe I can do the market and whatever with whatever plan they have. I said, "Oh, no, okay, okay, I'll do the houses. Send me the plan." Weeks go by, no plan, no contact, nothing. And so I start to press some government officials. Hey, my intentions were to rebuild the market for the people. You told me I can't build the market, but then you haven't sent a plan. You've begun no actual progress for rebuilding, no materials, no nothing. The next day I get a call and I get sent a video of this plan. It was a 300 million naira market for a village. I said, what village in Nigeria has a 300 million market? What town has a 300 million market? What city has 300 million market? I mean,
Well, maybe they just want to upgrade them now to make it look like to make them to build something better for them to make up for the pain. Don't you think
how
so?
how many markets has the government rebuilt?
So did they eventually build it?
Of course not. The market hasn't changed.
So why were you baffled by the price of the figure?
Because I know the price to rebuild. And I will it costs roughly close to just under 2 million, I would say, naira to rebuild each house. And so if I'm rebuilding, and these are no, these are from the ground up, cement and bricks. And if I'm rebuilding the market, let's say
For
32 to
one
30,
house of how many rooms?
2 to 3 rooms, like 3 rooms more so, about around 3 rooms.
Just 2 million naira to rebuild. You're not starting
Yes.
from foundation.
Yeah, no, from the foundation.
No, you cannot build for 2 million naira for foundation. I can
I
assure you
do.
that. Not in present day Nigeria. How do you
I
get
do.
the workforce? I mean, people are building for you
How
for
I
free.
do it is how I do it. How I do
Yeah,
it is
the
how I
reason
do
I'm
it, but
asking is because so we don't give false information because we're all in Nigeria. So it doesn't look like I'm using this platform to give false information because I
no,
do
this
know how much a bag of cement is in Nigeria and how
nine
much you pay for daily workmanship daily
yes,
for the bricklayers and the masons in
yes,
Nigeria, so that we do not give a wrong calculation. And I know how much most of these materials are worth. For a three
yeah,
bedroom, how much are you buying the door and the decking and all of that? And then the
yeah,
window, the roof sheets. How much will you buy them?
yeah,
Even the roof
yeah.
sheet alone is about 2 million naira. The roof sheet is.
No, 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 no.
So what
Are
kind of
you
roof sheet
buying
are you
gold roof
using? I don't
sheets?
know. I'm just saying. So we
No, no,
need to
no.
be very specific when we're
If
talking.
you do things efficiently, I don't build things in luxury. I build what is needed. And so many of these people, their house to begin with was mud. And so
Oh,
to build with cement and bricks, wood roof with metal sheets is a complete upgrade to begin with. And when you do it efficiently and smartly, you don't spend crazy money. More so, when you do it yourself and not through the government, the funds actually go to where they're supposed to go. There's no other pocket that it goes to. And so the funds go directly to what is being done. And so the point is to rebuild, let's say, a market of 30 structures, it certainly will not be 300 million. And I know what the price will be. And so when they're going to offer for me to build or to other organizations to build a 300 million market, which no village in Nigeria has,
how
the
do you know
question is
this?
why?
Have you been to all the villages in Nigeria already? You haven't.
I've been to villages across Kano, Bauchi, Benue,
Don't worry,
Plateau.
you've not been to my village in River State, so forget about that. You're
Do you,
still yet to go to other villages.
do
So
you
you
do you have do you have a 300 million naira
I
market
am
in a
just saying,
village?
can't tell if I do have. So
Oh no, you can't tell me you do. Okay,
So your
uh
opinion is that the price for rebuilding the market was grossly is exaggerated by government.
Oh, no question. If anybody is watching who has a 300 million naira market in their rural village, please show me. I want to see. So, also the government needs to be efficient with their money. You know, they don't want to spend much money. So why are they trying to overspend for a market? Where is the benefit in that? You know, they're only taking money away. They're spending too much money. So the question is why? Maybe because they think that if they can raise money from the UN and other organizations for this market, well, if they say it's 300 million when in reality it's not that, well, they'll pocket a good bit of money. They'll take it. They'll buy a new Land Cruiser, maybe a nice house, you know? And so that's why I said I refuse to be a part of that. And once I started disclosing this information that I was told I can't build a market and that they wanted me to help with a 300 million market, then all of a sudden things are changing. Oh, no, 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 we didn't say that. Blah, 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 blah. I said, no, I know exactly what I was told. And that was, you can't do the market. You can't change your words now.
So you're assuming that government is trying to profit on the pain of the people of Yelwata through the
100%.
building of their markets.
100%. No question. I mean, is the market done? Has it begun? No.
So this is a direct accusation on the Benue State government.
Yeah.
They may want to respond to it.
I mean, the governor rejects genocide also. So, I mean,
but the governor is a Christian and a reverend father.
Exactly. He's a reverend father who probably takes money to be able to say things. I mean, how can you reject genocide when you have over 1 million displaced people in your own state? Every single day I see attacks in Guer and Kwande and all these different places. And so how can you reject genocide when your state is one of the most dangerous for Christians in Nigeria? Someone answer the question. I can't give you a direct answer. I can give you my opinion and perspective, but it's one of the most dangerous states for Christians. I mean, that's why you have some of the most IDPs in the country, in Benue. Camps everywhere. But no genocide. There's no issue. Benue is under control. It's a great place to live. It's very peaceful. You can be a Christian anywhere. You can farm anywhere. Well, go to the camps. Ask them, what do they think?
Let me open the phone lines. I'm sure Nigerians have a lot of questions to ask you. Nigerians phone lines are open 0817-029-4077. That's the number to call to join the conversation. Or you can click on the link on the pinned post. It brings you straight to the studio to join us in the studio. 0817-029-4077. That is the number to call to join the conversation with Mr. Alex this evening. It's been an amazing conversation with you, but I worry about the kind of life these people in IDP live, and I'm wondering how sustainable it would be for them to live in that condition for too long. So, from what the question I asked earlier, you had said that there's been more or less no government presence in most of those camps. So how do they survive? How do they get medical care, for instance? Because I still have someone or some of them who are still nursing some of their injuries, some of those treated and all of that. How do you help out with medical care? Because I know that that's a very important aspect of any of these outreach. How do you help out with medical care? Do you have any?
So my main initiative is building. I can't do everything. So for medical care, things like that, that's not my primary initiative, because there's many organizations who bring food, who bring medical things, and try to tend with medical care and so forth. But there's nobody that's helping with rebuilding, really. And so that's where my primary initiative is.
All right. Let me take someone in the studio and let's see if he has a question for you. The Barrys, good evening and welcome. The Barrys.
Good evening, Precious.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Alex.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for what you're doing. Actually, I Precious, last week, I guess I asked you that what good is the church if it's only going to prepare you to die? I asked you about, because I have not been to church for the past 3 months, simply for this reason, that I didn't see anything that the church is doing, especially those churches in the diaspora that are raising so much money. I did not see any effort. And I told my wife, I said, you know what? I'm not going with you anymore. I'm done. Every time I go to church, I don't see people are dying because I know. And those of us that knows, and you can see it's unfair that someone, I don't know his heritage, or maybe has a relative from Nigeria or whatnot. The way you pronounce the names, I'm even impressed. The way you pronounce the names, the local names and things like that. It's impressive. Yeah. So if someone can do this, and this is what Christians and God-loving people should do. However, we know the truth. And I see the way you're asking this question, Precious. And of course you do know. Of course, it's your job to ask. But again,
you know why I have to ask those questions. So even he understands why I have to ask the questions. I see him happy whatever I do. So go ahead.
Yeah. So as I wonder if the church, if they cannot fight for us when we need them, why are we even going to church? Right. So I know my question now to Alex is, how are you able to navigate through this? I've been to Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa. I've been to those places. I know the terrain. How are you able to navigate this process and have the time to even settle down and build without any interference or any attack or things like what magnitude, what type of security do you have? I mean, I'm not asking you to expose anything, but I wonder because I'm curious. I have an intent to do something which I'm working on, but how are you able to get to these places and settle down and ask these things?
Uh, I guess you can say the grace of God. I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes if there's a will, there's a way. And so, I have native friends and partners that I work with who are trustworthy, who are incredible believers. And they are people that I would die for, that I love, and that I travel with, I work with, I trust. We do everything together. And so those are the ones that I rely on to be able to go to places, to do the work, to rely on for wisdom and guidance and things like that. Um, and yeah, security, I'm not going to really touch on just because it's, but yeah, I try to have some security in the places I go. But one thing that I would encourage you with is don't judge God based off of the church. Listen to what I'm
Okay.
saying. Don't judge who God is based off of the church's failure. Does that make sense? So I
Yes.
completely agree. The church should be the primary people that are coming alongside the persecuted Christians and helping them, rebuilding food, aid, all these types of things. That is one of the primary roles of the church. And so many churches are failing in America, but even Nigeria. In Nigeria, you have the prosperity gospel that's very prominent. So you have pastors that are making so much money. They have nice houses, nice cars. They have 20 people. I have never seen people with such security like Nigerian pastors.
Alex, are you accusing our men of God?
Yes.
Are you
How
saying,
can you be
are
living
Right.
you,
lavish
in all of your
lives?
experience, in this mission, are you saying you haven't seen Nigerian pastors visit these people themselves, not through their aides, but visit them, help in rebuilding? You haven't seen this happen at all?
Do you know any villages that have been rebuilt? Can you tell me the name?
Eh.
Hmm. Okay. Great question.
I don't care if they visit the village. What have they done? What have they actually done? More than just lip service. Where's the action? Now, there are some Catholic churches and priests that I know have done some things and helped. I mean, even in Bokos, the Catholic Church in Bokos was,
Mhm.
or actually currently still is, a refugee camp for some of those people displaced. There's a Catholic association in Bokos who has actually helped to rebuild some homes. So I'm not going to say zero. But in large, how many of the pastors and the churches in Nigeria are helping rebuild, are helping going into the fire? They're getting off of their throne
Why do you think
to
that's
go.
centered on prosperity? You just mentioned that, and that's worrisome.
Say it
Why
again.
do you think our pastors are centered on prosperity? Because that's just what you just mentioned.
I mean, Nigerian pastors are some of the richest. I mean, you see how they walk. They love the honor. They love the high seat. They love being, having everyone below them. They love the money. They love the comfort. They love the nice cars. I mean, you have 20 security people walking alongside the car of the pastor. How many security do I have walking alongside me when I'm in the fire? Not that. And they're sitting in
Hmm.
Lagos and Abuja. And then I'm in the fire. I don't have that. And so
Wow.
it's a call for the Nigerian church to step up to the plate. Forget what the government is and is not doing. Forget what the NGOs are or are not doing. Where's the Nigerian church? Where are the rich pastors? Where are the ones who are prioritizing their own pockets? While the cries of their own constituents and church members are unheard. Where's the Nigerian church?
Hell. Oh yeah. The Barrys, please. Mr. Alex has to go. So let me take two, three more questions before we release him.
Okay.
Thank you so much, the Barrys.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Hello, good evening, and welcome. You're on the line. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Very quickly, please.
Hello, good evening, Precious.
Yes,
This
please.
is Marvelous calling from
Marvelous from Canada. You're welcome. Go ahead. Very well.
Yeah. First thing first, thank you for all the work you do. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Just thank you for that. And again, like I always say, that we do not have leaders in that country. All we have, the people that are still, that country has been hijacked, and that country needs saving. It needs saving, serious saving. Should we talk from the president, the vice president, man, so you see, those theory, just look at the theory of them now. Nothing. You cannot present those people as leaders. The third one is everybody knows that one has corruption cases against him. The second one is linked to whatever is going on in the whole country in Nigeria, which everybody is accused. It's all in the media space. Is it the first one?
Marvelous, please can we make it quick so that others can jump in so we can release him? He's got limited time.
So the other thing I would say is that you should please, Alex, please do not review your plans on how you go to these locations, on how you help these people. Don't review it, please. Everything should remain secret.
Yes, I agree.
You cannot be trusted.
I agree.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Mr. Flagship. Flagship, good evening and welcome. I thought I saw comparable facts at the backyard. Good evening, Mr. Flagship. Happy New Year to you. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too, Precious. How you doing now?
I did like say I know.
Very well, very well. I want to thank you so much for bringing Mr. Alex on your show.
Thank you.
You know, sitting down watching you. And by the way, Mr. Alex, good evening from Atlanta.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you.
Yeah. The one caption that I came up with is an American, a non-Nigerian, giving me first-hand information. Again, thank you, Precious, for bringing him. You're doing your bit.
Thank you.
But I can't find one Nigerian that can give me enough details that he has provided. Maybe I'm missing from the media space, and I've not found one. But I almost wept when I was listening to him, and he's on ground. But you can't find my media folks talk to me about what is going on and brief or give information as much as he has. They wait for us who question and ask. I know they are doing their bit. There are a lot of restrictions and a lot of challenges that they have to deal with, but they wait for us to provide empirical evidence for anything we ask for. In my words, it's a shame. I'm not going to take too long. Mr. Alex.
Yes.
If you would, I believe you. 2 million naira to build a home. I believe you. Trust me.
Yeah.
Because I've got a friend.
I have the records, so
in Kaduna, and he started it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So here's my request. I'm going to ask Precious for your contact information. I stopped paying tithes a long time ago. I want to start doing it again.
Yeah.
At 2 million naira for a home, I think I can take a couple of homes. So please, I would ask Precious for your contact so we can get these people back into a good home.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And Precious.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll give you the I have a direct website. I can link the website in the chat. Everything is official. We're registered with the government. I don't know if you're in America or Nigeria.
He's in Atlanta. He's in America.
Okay, so it's tax deductible. I'm an Atlanta native. I was born and raised in Atlanta, and so
what part?
North Atlanta, Alpharetta.
Oh,
yes,
20 minutes from there.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it's a 501c3 registered. Everything is official through the website. So I can link some information in the chat here for you to look at if you'd like.
Please kindly drop it on the chat and I'll post it and pin it.
We'll appreciate it. But Precious, I beg, send out to me directly. I beg.
No wahala. No wahala. No wahala.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Nagode.
All right.
What did you say, Nagode?
Nagode.
No, I was
teaching Nagode.
No, now we talk.
Oh.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening and welcome. I have someone else on the line. Good evening and welcome. Are you there? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, you're welcome, sir.
My name is Dr. Deployer. Good evening once again.
You're welcome. Go ahead, please, very quickly.
Yeah, just a quick one. Alex, thank you so much for what you're doing for people who cannot do it for themselves.
Yeah.
We so much appreciate you for your handwork and your resilience to be able to go to the hell where people are afraid to go. You go there, you deliver services. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
On the other, I listening to what you've been saying because you're not a Nigerian, you are able to continue to nail the on top of the nail because Nigerians under Buhari government they were somehow brainwashed.
Please, kindly make your question quick, sir, because
my question here, just a minute. Not to call these guys terrorists, rather to call them bandits, so that the world will not be aware of what's going on in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's just banditry. If it's banditry, it's not a big issue.
Has been calling them by that bandits instead of terrorists. Now you say that the Fulanis have captured Nigeria, and they are in every aspect of Nigeria. They are everywhere in every aspect, every structure. The whole political parties they have people there. They make sure they are at every angle, so that when election comes, if this party doesn't win, the other party will win. They will always be there. Is it not high time America begin to think about how to help this country? If this country was supposed to be Christian one side, Muslims one side, it will be easier to control Nigeria and know how these Fulanis can be able to penetrate the Christian side of Nigeria to commit this havoc that have been committing to Nigerians. Do you think something along that line? Thank you very much.
All right, I hope he understands what you said, but let me take another question so he responds to all at the same time.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening and welcome. And just to let you know, I've also pinned his contact in the comment section. So kindly look through the comment section and see how to contact him, Facebook, Instagram, and website. It's there on the comments so that you can reach him. Thank you so much. So contact him is good evening. Thank you. One second, sir. So it's at www.buildingzion.org.com.
Yes.
Instagram and Facebook at Building Zion.
Yes.
So just so you know. Yes. Good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Joaquin. I'm calling from.
You're calling from where, sir?
I'm calling from Austria.
You're welcome,
Joaquin,
sir.
calling from Austria.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
From Austria. Thank you so much. This great guy, Alex, I appreciate you. You know, I have never sat down on my television and finish watching Precious any television. I have never done that.
So yeah, now you're telling me I'm not important enough for you to watch.
I am just confessing to you. I've never done that. But when this guy came on air, this guy called Alex, I was a little bit skeptical and I said, what's going on here? But my friend, I must tell you something, you know. I believe you. Not only believe you, but I think like you. I see you among the people I live with around here. That is what I do. I see you among them. And you speak to the truth, you know, one thing I like with you is that, Precious, I was not so impressed when you sometimes mix in when this guy is talking, because you have never brought anybody in this your program that have spoken so truthful, so directly, the facts to your viewers. My friend, I enjoyed you very much. And what I'm going to do now with you is that 2 million that you are using to build houses over there, I'm going to do something marvelous because of you. But it can only be through you.
Wow.
Because I believe in you.
It's amazing.
And I hope, my wish and my prayer is for everybody that is sitting at home, about 450 people watching Precious A television at this moment, that you learn from this young man. You learn from him. I was in Nigeria during the Christmas season. I'm Precious, to correct you. On my side, when I was flying to Nigeria, for your information, I sat down with one of the engineers taking care of your private jets in Nigeria. I had a conversation with him. He told me that Nigeria has over 167 private jets in Nigeria. And you know what he asked me as the flight was going on? He asked a very intelligent question. He said, do you know the amount of group of people that own most of these private jets in Nigeria? They are your pastorpreneurs, your preachers. For you to know, for your audience to know, he's from Portugal. I will not call his name, I collect his number. Your pastors, they are having more private jets in Nigeria and look at this young man. He's a Christian. Look at him building. My friend, God bless you. Precious, thank you for giving me audience.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But like I said, I've already seen his contact. I'm going to surprise you. Thank you very much.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Thank
I'm
you.
so impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello.
Hello, Precious.
Sir, good evening. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Precious and Alex. Good evening to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Precious, I really want to appreciate you for making out time to bring in Alex to your program.
Thank you.
And Alex, for all your submission and everything you've said, I really want to thank you. And also for the good job you're doing in Nigeria.
Thank you.
For putting your life at risk, making sure that the atrocities going on in Nigeria is being aired and heard globally.
Exactly.
Precious, I hope you continue to do this and to spread out and to let the world knows what is happening in Nigeria and to give more time to Alex. Precious, I don't know if it's possible you could allow Alex to comment on the $9 billion.
You did not. You didn't join on time. In fact, before I asked him the question I had in mind, he already mentioned it.
I'll say one thing very quickly. The reality that Nigeria is giving $9 million.
When he said something regarding that.
So he's just responding to you on it now. So let's hear him.
Okay, Alex, go ahead, please.
The reality and the truth is, if Nigeria is giving $9 million to a lobbyer in America to push the narrative that Christians are safe, what does that say about the truth? If Christians were truly safe, they wouldn't have to pay someone $9 million to say this.
Exactly.
It would already be known. Yes, the Christians are safe because, well, there's no reports that Christians are unsafe. So now we know they're safe. But if you're lobbying for that, that exposes everything. I mean, what else do you need to see?
Exactly.
Thank you.
This just shows that they have admitted that yes, there is a genocide going on, and in as much as they want to cover up their shame or try to tell the world that they are fighting for the Christians or they are doing something to protect the Christians now, but $9 billion for lobbyists just goes to prove that yes, these things exist and they're just trying to cover it up.
Thank you.
So thank you, Alex, for your submission. And Precious, you know, we always glued to your
station. No, Wahala, we did here. We did together. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. All right, bye. Alex. Okay, you too, bye. I have someone at the back office. Hello, good evening and welcome. Comparable Facts. Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Happy New Year, and Precious. I've not seen you since then.
We've not seen no. Happy New Year, sir. I hope you had fun.
And nice to see you, Alex.
Yes, sir.
I commend you for coming to our platform.
Thank you.
You seem to be very, very informed. You know, you don't speak based on sentiment. You know, we from Nigeria, you know, we are very sentimental in terms of our narrative. So I thank you for that. So my question is to you is that your outreach has been pretty much in the north about genocide going on, which, you know, I'm one of those people that believe that's what we consider to be Christian genocide. So have you had any outreach in the Southeast? Being that the Southeast, you know, I mean, your outreach is based on religious, you know, being that the Southeast, you know, it's predominantly Christians, you know, maybe about 98%. Have you done any outreach in that area? I mean, it's pretty much safe right now. You know, I just came back from Nigeria. It's a little bit better than it was before. So have you done any outreach over there?
In the far southeast, I have not. My focus, there's two aspects. One is I want the gospel to be preached across Nigeria, specifically in the places that there is no gospel. And so, you know, in the South, in very Christian majority areas, there isn't a large need for that. It's more so in the other areas. Secondly, though, the persecution and rebuilding villages is the second initiative, which is in Christian majority places. And so I specifically tend to the places where there's ongoing issues in terms of security. People are suffering, people are oppressed, and there's a need for rebuilding. And so I try to target those places. You know, I'm one person. I can't be everywhere at the same time, and I have limited time, limited funds, and so I try to direct things where there's the greatest need, and it can be used, I would say, most efficiently. So I have a desire to be in, trust me, many places across Nigeria that we're actively working, and so I'm trying to do as much as I can.
Okay,
Most of
my
the
last.
funds that I've used have been spent in Nigeria from the
All
ministry.
right, thank you very much. My last question is to you is about what do you think about Trump? Do you think he any way he can try to help Nigeria in the future or whatever? Because he's very he's very busy about what's going on in America right now. I mean, from Iran to Russia to Venezuela and
To
To
everything,
Greenland,
Greenland, to
even
Greenland,
the
Greenland.
ice. Yeah. Do you think that he
Cuba.
has time for Nigeria? I mean, does he pay attention? Do they inform him about what's going on?
My personal opinion is that the issue in Nigeria is not that important
Yeah.
compared to Iran, Greenland, Venezuela.
Greenland.
Now, I'm not speaking from my personal heart and belief. I'm speaking from the perspective of the government and Trump. Nigeria persecution is not a threat to America, really.
Yeah.
It's not a big factor. And so, yes, do we want to do some good things here and there and try to care for people? Sure, we can do a little bit. But in terms of the grand scheme of things, Iran, Venezuela, Greenland, Russia, that's where the biggest need is and the most attention. And so, yeah, I
So
don't think
it's more of geopolitical in that area, in terms of
yeah, yeah. I don't think there's a real heart for persecuted Christians. If there was, the administration would be doing more. That's just the truth. And so I am a Trump supporter, but I don't have an issue being objective and truthful. And so my personal perspective is I don't think the government has a big heart for the persecuted world and the oppressed people. If they did, they'd be doing more.
All right. Thank you very much. Nice to see you, Precious. I'll be back next time. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Precious.
you.
We'll talk
Thank you
later.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Alex. All right. So, Alex, I hope you'll be willing to show back on this platform if we ask you to, because obviously people want to see more of you here again. But
Yeah.
then, secondly, yes, just while you wrap up, what do you think the Christian community worldwide needs to do about the persecution of Christians that's been established in Nigeria? From what is happening? What do you think?
You
Because
know,
so if the Christian community in Nigeria is silent, what should the world body do about it?
there there's many things to say. There's a lot of different perspectives and directives. But what I would say is the Nigerian Christians need to have courage and be bold. Because I don't think the initiative to save Nigerian Christians is going to come from outside of Nigeria. All the revolutions generally happen from the people inside. Generally. People are fed up with what is happening, and so the people revolt. And so I'm not inciting revolution or inciting violence. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if the Nigerian people are suffering, if Nigerian Christians are being killed, and you are fed up, you are tired, at some point the Nigerian people and Christians are going to have to do something. And so you have to have boldness and courage and to not be afraid. Scripture talks about how we haven't been given a spirit of fear.
Here,
And the reality is also
sound mind.
that, yes. And so the gospel was furthered across the world by Paul because he was bold and had courage. I mean, his ships were shipwrecked. He was persecuted. He was beaten. He was stoned. He was in prison, but he kept going. So there is something greater inside of him that he believed in, which led him to do anything and to endure anything for the sake of the gospel. And so I think if the Christians are able to be bold and have courage, I think at some point they will be able to do something regarding the issue in Nigeria. Yes, international people can help, other countries can put pressure and do this and do that. But I think the Christians in Nigeria have to speak. You can't be afraid of the government. And I know that that's a difficult thing to say because that will ultimately lead to some people dying for the cause. It will. That's just the reality. I mean, even in Iran, the revolution against the government, people have been killed. But there's something that they are fighting for that is worth it. And so the Christians in Nigeria have to think the same. What are we going to fight for? What do we believe in? I'm not saying the answer. I'm not inciting you to do anything, but I'm saying if there's an issue that you see and is big, then Christians have to have the boldness and courage to tackle that issue.
Awesome. So very quickly, I have to mention this. I mean, one of the reasons I contacted you or thought to have you is because of my personal initiative too. And I mean, we've discussed this before. So over the years, over my 20 years of my career in broadcasting, I've always started the year with charity. And this year, I thought, why not reach out to these people who are living in the IDP? And I told you I was able to identify 3 women, 2 amputated, that we're trying to see how we can rehabilitate, especially to get them to learn how to use their dominant arm, which they already lost. And I mean, so to get used to using one arm. But there's another lady whom we also identified as Sabe, who is from ZK community. Good thing, good enough,
That's where I was.
Yes, her home in ZK has been rebuilt, but she's traumatic. She can't go back to them.
Yes.
So she good enough. Her husband and her started a home in the city of Jos, but it's uncompleted. So I had a lawyer help me go check out the house and do a feasibility study of the house to see if even if we can't complete it, let's complete one room, one apartment in that place so that she can move in. But since you can build house for 2 million naira, I have been able to graciously gather 2 million from this platform. And I wouldn't mind, please, would you help us if we pass out funds to you to help us rebuild this house?
Yeah,
Please,
I mean,
it is important to me. There are other things I also want to do for her. For instance, she needs to see a physician because of the pain she still bears from the burn injuries. I will bear that cost. And I personally promise to sponsor her surviving child in school. And the only reason why I have not put the young girl in school now is because of where to stay while she's going to school. So once we're able to fix her accommodation, and I would quickly put her in school. That is on my view. I will take care of that. So if you can help me, please, if once I transfer the money we have, which is about 2 million, and I also promise my people I'm going to publish account records, which
and I keep record of everything that I do. Also,
I'll publish to them.
Material,
both of them donated, and I'll publish to them. The idea is for accountability. Some people donated anonymously. I'll just blur the names, but I'll publish all the debits and exits. I like to do that for accountability. I mean, if I can't be accountable, then people won't trust me next time. So I don't even joke with that. So if you would oblige us, that would mean a lot to me that Asabi can go back to having a home in Jos. At least that area in Jos is safe. Not back to ZK where she still faces the trauma of losing her husband and her children in such attacks. So if you would do that for me, please, I am grateful.
No, I can do it.
Thank you so much.
I build 24/7. It's what I do. So
I am going to get back to you immediately. Thank you so much for that. Hello, good evening, and welcome.
Hello, Precious.
Sir?
This one is good.
This one, a happy new year, Sana. This one's supposed to give you long life and prosperity for the rest of this year.
Amen.
So go ahead.
First, I will start with my usual joke. I asked you what is away.
Alex, they here now. No, they do Alex away now. Tony Chukwudi.
Alex. And then you start again with Alex. So that sign and you need to explain it what each sound means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now coming to the whole thing, I think there are 3 things I want to say here.
Okay.
One is the person that called from Ostrike. Okay. I was telling you that you were listening to you and sleep. There is something that I used to tell in the other platform. That somebody that used to come to the church and he said, every time this is the same thing that is the pastor is preaching. Because he normally comes to that church maybe maybe always on Christmas or on Easter. So he will hear the same preaching of Christmas or Easter or whatever. Okay? So if somebody is saying that I know that Prince Chilak has said so many things about this. Prince Chilak doesn't even want to hear from you talking about pastors. So if somebody is saying that that he has never had
it's okay. People have their opinion. Let's respect people's opinion. But let me just have your own opinion. Then it's okay. It's fine. I didn't complain.
No, it's all right. So coming on the other one. Precious, what Mr. Alex is trying to tell you about 2 million, and the market is that there are some villages or towns you will go. You will know that the type of market they have is not lock-up shops. Okay, so he has already seen the market that is there, and know that is this market that you use the metal pole and stand and put the zincs and then use a kind of 2 or 3 blocks height. And
so not the 300 million naira markets.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to explain. I'm sure that's what I'm getting for him.
No
because
problem.
I know there are some markets that are even in some small towns that what even the one in my town. So over 100,000. So then again, what again he was trying to explain to you, which he tried to explain it in a way. Precious, if you see somebody that has been riding a bicycle and that person is struggling with the bicycle, and then you happen to give that person a keke, I think that person will be
now upgrade with that now. Now upgrade, you don't upgrade the person life.
So that is what, or somebody that doesn't have any sandal, any shoe, and you bought a second-hand shoe and a pair of shoe and gave to the person will be happy. All right, so that is what Alex, I understand from what he's talking about, 2 million naira. Okay. So because if somebody is living in a certain shanty or something, and then you were able to upgrade that shanty and then put some few blocks and then a kind of make it livable. I think because in this Western world, there are some of the way they say they are building low-cost houses. And when you look at some of all these low-cost houses, when you go inside, you find out that you cannot even...
Could you help me hurry up in here so that we can free him?
So these are the area because I found out that you were asking, and then recently you were asking about the money that you collected for him to have. The only thing is that I appreciate what he said, and then I appreciate in as much as he did say something about but the only thing that I wanted to ask him is this: is there any way the American government is working so that Professor Glitch will never be in charge again?
Sir, you see, sir, even your network take life for the talk. Your network, sir, will give you talk that thing. That's the way you want to talk. Even your own network. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I repeat it again with my... Oh, sorry, no vex. You don't want to know what he's trying to say. I'm sure this is not within your jurisdiction. So you know the last election, general election Nigeria had. They said there was a glitch during the collation of the results.
I'm sure there was a glitch.
You're sure there was. So he's asking you that is the US government going to ensure? I mean, I cannot be so interested in Nigerian election this time in such a way that there won't be another glitch. That's what he's saying. But well, as much as I think that that's not within your purview, but
it's above my pay grade.
So I was just going to say that, Mr. Alex.
You know, I'm a village person.
Me self na village. You know, since I pidgin English they speak. Now you force me to speak English. I don't even. You don't understand pidgin, Abi. You don't understand me. You need to understand.
I know a little bit of Hausa, but I'm learning.
So you need to understand pidgin English. You see, now because of you.
I know some pidgin.
Okay.
It's a work in progress.
I'm a village girl. I'm a core village girl. I don't understand English language. You practically forced me to speak English. I've just been doing this because of you. So I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Alex. It's been such an inciting session with you, and it's left me not just emotional, so it's left me with dual feelings, a bit emotional and a bit excited that is helping me, and that there is information out there, and that there is actually knowledge of the true situation of people in Nigeria. And you know, one of the things that got to me, I was discussing with a friend one time about, you know, the issue of Sunday Jackson.
Yeah. He got released because.
And then I was telling him, I was like, if anybody says there is no God, the case of Sunday Jackson should let you know that there is indeed God. You know why? Now, Sunday Jackson is just a poor farmer with no, affluent family, with nobody from anywhere who even has connection with the United States. But how his case was mentioned in the US Congress in such a way that it pressured the Nigerian government to ensure his release is amazing. Yeah. And that is what only God could do. No one.
And that's where the impact of other countries, what they can do in Nigeria,
Absolutely.
And so it just.
There's another young man who's facing the same faith like Sunday Jackson. His name, I think, Zeke, one young guy like that. Zidane or so. He's from Southern Kaduna. There is a village in southern Kaduna where a king was executed after a meeting with some oligarchs, as it were, when they went to discuss some issues during the era of the former governor El Rufai. Now, I think they wanted them to give up their community so that the head of the community will no longer be their traditional ruler, but a Fulani emir. And they said, no, we can't have an emir rule us. And they executed the king. But this particular young man now, after they executed the king, I think started protecting the people of his community from Fulani attacks. And we hear that because of such protections, he was taken to court, charged to court. As I speak to you, he's been sentenced to death. And people think that he was sentenced to death just for protecting his people on self-defense.
Well, I've seen reports of situations where Christians have been attacked and they've defended themselves. Let's say a Fulani, he was fighting a Fulani, and he ended up killing the Fulani with a knife because he was being attacked.
Yes.
He goes to jail.
That is exactly the case of this young man.
You're not allowed to defend yourself in Nigeria. There's no such thing as the right to defend yourself against an aggressor. If you defend yourself, to jail.
So that's exactly what people are saying, because people are saying that the number of people that have been killed in his community by Fulani headsmen have not, the people who perpetrated such crimes have not been prosecuted. Why is he prosecuted for killing someone in line,
Exactly. They're defending their right to live, yet you're punishing them and saying, no, you're not allowed to do this. If we want you dead, you're gonna die. There's no right to protect life.
And because he's Christian, his family, I mean, his community is a Christian community, and he is a Christian. If there is any way you could raise awareness on his case, same way Sunday Jackson's case got to the United States, if his case can also go further there, please, he needs to be released.
Yeah.
It's really very pathetic that people are sentenced to death or prosecuted for just saving themselves or for protecting themselves.
In America, you have the right to bear arms and the right to defend yourself. If someone breaks into my house and I view them as a threat to my safety, I can kill them.
But I don't think that's only in America. It's a universal. It should be a universal thing. You should have the right to defend yourself.
It should be. But in Nigeria, you not only don't have the right to defend yourself, you have no right at all, because you can't even live in peace. You don't even have rights. What rights do you have?
I think we have rights to defend ourselves, but it's just the politics behind it. And that's why we're seeking for attention.
Yeah.
I'd like to say a big thank you to you. I'll reach you about Asabe's case, and I'll also publish the result of our meeting to my people here so that they will see. Thank you so much. This meeting has been a lot to me, and it's been such an eye-opener. I do hope that in the next couple of weeks, if we call you back, you can oblige us, hopefully. Yeah. And when you come to Nigeria, please do well to visit Lagos. Let me give you. Have you eaten?
I've never been to Lagos. I'm a village man.
I've been to Lagos. I am from River State. We used to have there's a traditional soup we have that is called fisherman soup. It's made of seafood. Do you eat seafood?
I do eat some seafood. I eat tumasara.
You dey swallow gari. You don't swallow eba before. You don't swallow.
I don't swallow.
I go finish you with fisherman soup now when you come back. I will go deal with you. Try find your way to Lagos.
I like to drive motorbikes sometimes, and I didn't know that in Abuja there's no motorbikes. You could only take a taxi by car. I didn't know this because I'm a village man.
Sorry. So it's okay. Good to see you and good to have you here. Thank you so much. We'll talk further. I appreciate you big time.
Thank you so much.
Seeing more of you and wishing you good luck in all that you do. David my papa they talk. They say the water where you could drink no go pass you. Do you know what that means? When you go to the stream, that's the lookout for drinking water in Nigeria. The particular water that you would drink that should be a blessing for you will not run past you.
Yeah, thank you.
Your blessings will never run dry.
Thank you so much. Yeah, God bless. God bless.
God bless you too, brother.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, that's the size of our package tonight. I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who's been part of the show. It's been such an exciting moment and insightful conversation, I dare say. And I appreciate everyone who's been part of this. And for all those who are promised to reach out to Alex, please kindly visit his website. I already did publish the website and it's pinned on the comment section. So please do well to visit the website. It's www.buildingzionorg.com. www.buildingzionorg.com. Instagram and Facebook is at Building Zion Org. For those of you who have not been paying your tithes because you don't want your pastor to be riding in, to be in their Hummer Jeep and their private jets, or you're going to pay tithe to this, because you can see that your tithe will already be put to good use. Please visit his website. I'm sure there is a way that you can contribute to this good deed he's doing. For someone from another country to try to contribute to what's going on in our country, it's amazing. Please do well to visit the website, visit him on Instagram and Facebook, and try your best to contribute to the cause that he is advocating for in our dear country, Nigeria, and all for the good of our nation and for the gospel of Christ. Thank you so much to everyone who's been part of the show. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you've not liked the show, please ensure that you like it, share it, and of course, I'll I'll repost this show on the video session. I'll cut out his segment, the very highlights of his segment, and repost again. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Protect your mental health from Nigerian wahala, because he who lives worries about Nigerian problem and runs away lives to worry another day. You know, so wahala need to finish. Protect your mental health. I love you. Good night and God bless you. Bye.